Hey everybody. Hey everybody, welcome to the Late Show with Johnny Beane, starring Johnny Beane in the house tonight. Get crazy, everybody.
That was great.
South Carolina, Jay Hannon is in the house.
I'm in the house, everybody, and I got a Steve Andersen tiki mug with some Sammy's Beach Bar rum.
Whoa.
And, let's get crazy. Steve?
Is that spiced?
No, I didn't get it. It's just the regular, but thanks, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, I was going to choose that one, but I was like, I'll just do it.
I know, this is my favorite one. Like, if this one's in the dishwasher, there's another one I get, but it's not that one. So I got the big tooth one, and you got the guy with his tongue sticking out. Yeah. Cheers, man.
Well, cheers, Steve. Thanks, man.
Look at that. And from Santa Cruz, California, the master of the house, the master of the show, Johnny Beane.
Hey. Sorry, I'm just finishing up my my food. I'm just, you know,
yeah.
dinner time around here. But yeah, cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. What flavor is that one, Johnny?
The cup?
No, the beer.
It says pumpkin.
Yeah. Oh, actually that's a pumpkin ale beer you having?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing.
He doesn't actually know.
No, I have no idea. Yeah, that was cool, you guys. That was.
Yeah. The combination,
really cool.
Mean Street.
Yeah. Telling you, the hardest part is going from this part to that, and then
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to get that clean, that transition. You know, when he does it live, he does the. Then he takes that little tiny break to move his fingers.
Yeah.
It's just it's so hard to get. So
crazy.
It's hard to play that, man, especially clean with the amount of gain that you need to get the harmonics out.
Yeah.
To play it, it's tough, but it's cool.
Practice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we just had I don't know about Jay, but Steve and I, we just had our suppers, our dinners, since we took a break from the last video. And there are a couple other people that want to jump in at some point. I don't know. Haven't really talked to them yet. Caleb and Michael Smith. So we'll see when that happens. But I had Chipotle. You know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, check out my Instagram stories or whatever. You'll see a picture I took from the Chipotle line. You know, and then Steve.
I'll like it right now. Look at that.
Yeah.
You can comment. I think you can comment on it.
I try not to comment too much on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And just so everybody knows, I know I'm like not exactly tech savvy. Like this whole thing of me being on here is totally Johnny Beane. We spent like 3 hours on a Saturday, and he set me up through Google Plus, and that's why I'm here. But now Ben Coombs and I spent like a half an hour after the show earlier, and because I have 2 computer screens here now, I have like the show over here with the chat. So everybody in the chat, I apologize for my time on here. I've never had the chat on while I've been on, so now it's going to help the flow of the show, because now I'm going to be looking at the questions in the chat. So fire away, guys. I apologize for my lack of tech savvy, but I'm too busy playing guitar all the time to worry about that stuff.
Oh man,
so
I didn't know you could never see the chat. I never knew that.
No, I just didn't have anybody sort of set me up with it. So it was really easy. Ben showed me, and I got a huge 22-inch screen here. I'm looking at you guys, and I got the chat over here and another 22-inch screen. So yeah.
Cool, because you know what you can also do is you can pause the video,
Okay.
Because if the video is playing, you know, you're using up like bandwidth or whatever. So you can actually just pause that, because what you're looking at, you're seeing anyway on this. And then you can, for the chat, you can click pop out chat window and make the chat take up the whole screen. So you can sit back and see all the words. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got that. Yeah, I got it now.
So take that, Ben.
Okay, so this is my sort of first time doing this. So we've got the Vigilant here, who I love his hat. I always say to the Vigilant that I love his hat. He's got this cool sort of, I don't know what it's even called. I'm not an expert on hats, but it's like a Stetson sort of cowboy hat that he has on his photo. We got JJ's House of Jams here. We got Zach Moon back in the house. Clayton James back in the house.
Hey, Clayton.
Yes, Clayton, that was Main Street by Van Halen from 1981 off the Fair Warning album. My personal favorite Van Halen song of the first version of Van Halen. There's that. And then Everybody Wants Some is like a newer favorite of mine. I didn't think much of it at first when I was younger. But then when I saw Van Halen do it live with David Lee Roth the last couple of tours, oh man, like the jungle drums at the beginning and just the simple notes, and it's huge. So that's a new favorite of mine. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Because you just reminded me of something. There's been a couple times where I've seen a band live where they'll play a song that I'm, off an album or something. I'm like, that song's all right, whatever. Yeah. And then they'll play it live. Yeah. And I'll be like, I'll have a newfound respect. And like all of a sudden it happened with Pleasure Dome.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I was never a huge fan of that. And then
I always liked it.
When the Laserdisc, sorry, I know Laserdisc. I know I'm old. But when the Laserdisc came out, I went out and bought that thing, brought it home. And for a while I would always skip it, because it was the lead in for, the drum solo and stuff. And I just kind of was like, whatever. And then I just remember listening to it, the live version. Just the music. And I'm like, that's friggin' badass. Like, with, And then now it's probably one of my like favorite songs off of that album, just because it's so different. Yeah. And maybe for a while it was one of those songs that I kept skipping. Yeah. Now that I go back to it, it still feels fresh when I listen to that song.
Yeah. I guess one of my favorites was always Judgment Day, because it's one of the heavier ones on that record. And there was also the riff to Man on a Mission. I really dug that song. Yeah. And that's cool. So I had the same thing, Jay, with like AC/DC's Back in Black album is it's like one of the biggest selling records like ever.
All the time. Yeah.
Like forget rock. I mean everything, right? So there's like Back in Black, obviously the title track. Then there's Hell's Bells and You Shook Me All Night Long. And then for me, like live, when I saw them do Giving the Dog a Bone, I was like, holy cow, this song is awesome.
It's weird. It's weird how that can happen.
Well, yeah, just because there's so many great songs, you get sort of stuck on the main ones. But then when I heard that live, I was like, holy kidding me? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, when did you see them live?
Oh, God, about 15 years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Hey, Chris 46 is here. Got to say hi to her.
Hey, Chris.
Sean Mahoney.
Yeah. You're talking about AC/DC, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they played here not that long ago. They played it was called Pac Bell.
Yeah. Was that with Axl Rose singing?
Stadium in San Francisco.
Like the last year or so, it's Axl Rose was singing.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
It was probably like a year, maybe not even a year.
Yeah, so it would have been Axl Rose singing vocals probably. Yeah, but he did a great job actually.
I think
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think Pris 46. Did you send me a friend request on Facebook? Because when I clicked on your profile, it basically was like this profile doesn't exist, which was very strange. So.
Sorry, I'm just going to read the new question. Zach Moon's asking what type of chorus you use, Johnny. So me, guys, I have a lot of boss.
Wait a minute. He's asking me.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just
Johnny, what kind of chorus do you use? Well, I use.
Hey, Hey Jay, hey Steve, what's your favorite? Oh, by the way, Jay, what's your? No, wait a minute, huh? What type of chorus do I use? Zach, the chorus that you're hearing in all those videos I did, a month ago, that's the Boss super chorus, which I've had actually exactly 20 years. I've had that pedal. And Caleb is in the house.
All right, Caleb.
Well, Pris46 doesn't have Facebook.
Oh,
that's weird. That's awkward.
Is Jay in Alien World again?
You ever notice that? You ever have those moments where you wish you could like rewind it and take it back? That's one of those.
We've got Gas and Bullets in the house. Gas and Bullets is back. Paul Glover's here. Right on.
Hey guys,
what's going in? So we have a question about, I guess when we were discussing the Van Halen stuff, which is all the time anyway.
Hey Caleb.
Good evening.
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Go ahead, Jay.
No, it was More Guitar says, speaking of which, from each of you, David Lee Roth or Sammy. Why do we have to choose?
Oh, I got in at the right time.
I know Caleb's answer.
Should I go first?
I'm doing it. Morse guitars. So for me, Sammy Hagar 5150 tour. That's when I became a fan. I remember seeing stuff on MTV, Much Music. There was tons of stuff during that tour, like interviews with the band, everyone smiling, great times. I see live videos of Best of Both Worlds, 5150, Love Walks In. It was awesome, man. Like I'm sitting here talking about it. I still get goosebumps. I still watch Live Without a Net. Like Johnny has said many times, I used to watch Live Without a Net every
I couldn't
day.
get a word in. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Just let him go. Just let him go.
I watched Live Without a Net every day, probably for 2 years straight. I'm not kidding. And I still watch it today. And because I was 15 in 1986. So before that, I was aware of seeing the videos of Jump, Panama, and Hot for Teacher. And that would be the sort of the intro to them. But then all of a sudden there was the lead singer change. And that's when I really got into it. So that's my answer. Go ahead, Caleb.
He's sticking to it.
Yeah.
You want to go, Jay? Or
no, go, man.
Okay. I've only seen 1984 tour with Dave, other than in the recent years. But and that was like every song was fast and loud, and I was 14, so I don't remember much of it, but I did see 5150 from the front row, and
like center stage, Caleb?
It was like between center and Michael Anthony.
Oh, okay.
So
front
just
row.
like, yeah. Well, I got second row seats, but
how'd you score those?
I told this story a few weeks ago. It was like an upgrade from a radio station. Like
right
Steve, you were here when he.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for the chat, Jay.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. We got upgraded on a radio station, and they sent us down to the second row, and then the first couple rows got to go towards the barrier, so the barricade. So I was letting no one get by me for that. So, but when you watch Unchained and So This Is Love from the Oakland Coliseum,
oh yeah,
that is prime, peak, mighty Van Halen, and it will never ever get better than that for me. When you see that, nothing touches it. Nothing. They're the greatest frickin' band in the world, and they know it. And the confidence, the swagger, it's maybe arguably their best record, for the deep Van Halen fans.
A lot of guitar players. That's the
the
record.
Yeah, and it's just Yeah, I don't think anything can touch that. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, so for me, when I look at like the David Lee Roth years, that tour, like that's my favorite one too, Caleb, is watching that stuff as far as the live stuff of the first 6 albums. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Jay.
I mean, what was I watching a couple nights ago? They said there's the three camps, or the three ways of thought for Van Halen. It's like you have the people that it's Dave, Sammy sucks. You have the people that Sammy, Dave, whatever. And then you have people both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm both. I mean, if I had to choose, like if I was, I love asking this question to musicians and people who love music, where if you were stranded on an island and you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, like what album would you bring? Or would you say, I need to hear that? It would be 5150. And I think it was maybe just because of certain things that happen in your life when you're listening to a certain record. And it just, whenever I hear that record to this day, and I still listen to it all the time.
Yep.
It brings me back, and I get all these great feelings. Yep. And it's very positive, and just, I still get goosebumps when I listen to it,
Yep.
Like there's a couple notes that Sammy hits in Dreams, and I still like, holy crap. In Dreams was, Steve, we were talking about this before, about the one song that maybe you skipped over for a while and didn't really pay attention to. Oh, another keyboard song, For the longest time, I skipped over Dreams. And then I started listening to it.
Eddie's
outro.
Yeah, Eddie's outro solo on Dreams is one of the most beautiful little lines he's ever come up with.
And then the note Sammy hits after that. And then, the long, it's like, oh crap, just that one note. It's like
closes the show.
Man, like, holy cow. So anyway, if I had to choose on a scale of 1 to 100, right? Sammy would be 100, Dave would be a 99. I mean, I love both, and I get different vibes and I get different feelings listening to each. Sammy's more positive, and I get into a good mood when I hear him. Dave, it's like an attitude to it, like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Before we get to Johnny,
take your time.
No, I thought the question was an either or, because my thing was always, and nobody was looking more forward to 5150 coming out than me, because I knew that we were going to have more Eddie Van Halen stuff, and I didn't care if Patti Smythe was singing. I really didn't care. I didn't care. So when it comes down to it, when you ask those questions, whatever Eddie Van Halen is working on, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to dig it, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the focus for me. It was never about who was singing. When it comes to a preferable live, or just a vibe of the band, it's hard to touch Dave and Eddie.
You would take the attitude, just that little bit of like.
Well, that's what created them. That's what sold them to everyone, was that you had that singer and that musician,
mm-hmm.
Out front of your band, and no other band came close to that.
So Caleb, as a musician.
Yes.
I mean, I know some people that prefer the Dave or the Roth Van Halen, but they'll admit that the songwriting, from just a songwriting standpoint, take out the music, take out the whatever, just from a songwriting standpoint, that Eddie wrote better songs, I guess, just like with Sammy. Do you think of it like that, or do you agree, or is it like you don't really think of it that way? Or does it not matter?
It does matter for sure, and I know what you mean. I think the structure of the songs changed a lot. It might have had a lot to do with who's producing,
mm-hmm.
Who's arranging those records, and it wasn't Ted Templeman anymore after Dave left. So, I think Dave's a better lyricist, because it's more of a riddle, and for me, Sammy's always been kind of generic and a little cheesy, you know, but he's got the voice. Does that make any sense? Like a lot of his lyrics they're not crafted in a way that make you have to search for the meaning. It's pretty much there. And with Dave, you have, you know, he's like telling a riddle that you don't know what he's talking about all the time. So,
all right. So basically, I think you're kind of saying that with Sammy, you know, his lyrics were on his sleeve type of thing where he was going to tell you in the lyrics what the song means. Whereas Dave, and I don't know if Dave actually meant, like, I think Roth's lyrics kind of let the listener
figure it out
and maybe think it like what a certain Roth song means to you might be different to the way I hear it. You know, right. We might interpret it different ways. And in a lot of ways, I think that's good. Like when somebody asks a band or a singer, hey, what does this song mean? I hate when they answer it. I hate it. Because if it's that type of like, I don't want to say cryptic, but if it's kind of like not, you know, a couple rums, man, you see what happens? So, or a couple sips, I should say. But
I love it when Jay stumbles.
Well, I'm getting into it right now. But when lyrics are there for the person to figure out and attach it to their own life, I think a lot of times that means more. And I think when a singer answers that question and say, "Oh, these are what this song is about," or this, you know, this what those lyrics are about. From a fan's perspective, I'm like, no, I feel like that song is about this with me. Yeah. So right. I'd rather have it like that, where a band, you know what, hey, these lyrics are for whatever you want them to be.
Right. And I'd rather know, you know, if they're going to tell me in 20 or 30 years when, you know, we've absorbed them all for years, and not don't tell me on the, you know, on the press junket for the record, you know, let it sort of sink in, let people figure it out for themselves. But like I'm saying, go ahead. Dave wanted to be a step ahead of you in his lyrics, and most of the time he was, and that gave him his, you know, his swagger, his whatever he had that nobody else had. But you know, people in the chat, I see that the songs with Sammy are strong, and Eddie's writing songs, and he's crafting music with a singer that he knows can go anywhere he wants to. I mean, he's in standard for Christ's sakes. After all that time, he had to deaden his sound to help Dave hit notes. You know, he had to go down a half step. That's why they did it. They did it for Dave's range. They didn't do it for any other reason. So he's up in standard. He can. There's a different vibe with the Sammy tunes. And you know, when I heard Summer Nights, I was like, this is going to be great. You know, like, this is going to be great. They're going to do it. It's totally different, you know. And you didn't find out for months until, you know, that he was on a Steinberger, and what the hell is he doing? Is he capoing? What's that chord? What's that chord he's doing?
Yeah.
And you know, I remember that year very well because I was so fanatical about this band. And right when I started to get crazy on them, they broke up. You know, so you had to wait 1.5 years for this new thing to come out, and you had no idea what it was going to be. You had that little taste of Farm Aid, and you're like, okay, all right, that sounds good. You know, I'm excited. And
so back to
go ahead.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on a second. We gotta
get Johnny.
We can continue this. This can go. Johnny has his glasses off. He wants to answer this question so bad.
I don't even remember the question. I have no idea what
Dave or Sammy
was.
Huh? If you had to choose Dave or Sammy, I know you love them both. You love all three.
Yeah, I love it all. You know, it's like what Caleb was saying. Anything that Edward Van Halen is on, I'm there. You know, I'll listen to it. I'll buy it.
I'm paying. Yep.
You know, and I'll dig it. I've dug everything the guy's ever done.
But
how many say I? How many say I?
If you had,
I like it.
If you had to
I like it. I do.
If you had to choose,
If I had to choose what a tape from one,
Roth or Sammy, or if you had to choose, if you can't decide which one, if you had to choose one of the Van Halen records, you can only listen to one Van Halen record for the rest of your life.
And you can't choose the best of both worlds.
No.
Why would you want to choose that anyway? It's got all like the singles. You know what I mean?
Cabo Wobble is not even on it. It's my favorite song.
Oh no!
It doesn't have.
Volume 1 has Me Wise Magic.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that on there. Come on, go ahead. Come on.
Yeah. Volume 1 was great. You know, it had all the great songs. You know, the hits, and then it had Humans Beane. You know, which, you know, didn't it?
I think so.
Didn't it? Maybe.
It's
been a little while.
It did, yes.
But as far as you're saying, if you had to pick either a Dave Van Halen tape or a Sammy Van Halen tape,
I know it's hard.
It's hard because Johnny got into it post Dave.
Yeah, that's the same as me. Like it's me. So, it's OU812 too. It's not even a contest because that was me in grade 11. It was the first concert I saw. My favorite song, Cobble Wobble's on it. So it's a no-brainer.
We're gonna be asking Johnny in an hour and a half. So what Van Halen album?
I'll be answering this later.
Wait, are we good? Yeah. Are we good? Are we good?
Yo, Johnny,
no, we're not. You've got 4 more hours, Caleb.
Johnny, answer in the comment section below after the video.
I can't even see the comments.
Hey, Romeo Delight.
No, really, the truth is, you'd have to ask me that question. It depends what I'm listening to that week, you know. And this last week, I haven't listened to Van Halen at all. So
there's not one Van Halen record that really, really, like, maybe at a time in your life when just, man, like, you just get these great feelings. And
for me, it's the same as Steve. It's OU812.
Yes.
For me, it's the same because that was the summer, that was out. Yeah, the When It's Love video was on MTV every half an hour, it's tough. But I'm gonna say, actually, I'm gonna say women and children first.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. That's one record that I can put on out of probably the entire catalog. And aside from all the reverb on it, I can say there's nothing that dates the sound of this record. I mean, yes, there is a lot of reverb, but aside from that, it's so clean.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean? Production-wise. I mean, Jay, production. Production-wise, to me, without, take all that reverb away, it's timeless.
Well, that's one thing that drives me, I wouldn't say drives me nuts, because those albums are those albums for a reason, but I mean, it's the reverb on a lot of that time period of music. I mean, let's be honest. They used to load stuff with reverb back in the day. So
yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of like Black and Blue is a great song, but his sound is never more processed than in that song. Like he's got like 20 different harmonizers on his sound in that song, and it's just he evolved, and you had to take him the way he was giving it to you, but the sound of his guitar on Fair Warning, the sound of his guitar on Diver Down, I thought was a great sound. Like maybe peak Brown sound was Diver Down. So
Michael Smith, I totally understand the whole reverb making things sound better. I mean, I completely understand that, but I'm just saying, I mean, modern recording techniques. I mean, I would prefer to, I would have preferred. I'm not a fan of the whole guitar on the left, bass on the right thing. Like Van Halen, I feel like my head is doing this.
Yeah, I never understood. I never understood why they did that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, and
I think they did that because musically, they're a trio.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
So
And Eddie didn't want to double anything, you know. He's just like, hey, we're gonna play like we're playing live, like that's what we are.
Right. Just imagine if you were at somebody's house and that wrong speaker was out, you know.
Dude,
that's the thing. That's the thing.
There's no guitar.
Well, even because you know we all know those records. You know, we know when we hear it, and we know the stereo of the speakers are hooked up backwards because that guitar is on this side.
Yes.
You know, so it could always.
And in my old car, I had a sub in the trunk, right?
Mhm.
Well, I had it rigged up mad bootleg. Okay. So you either had to choose whether the sub in the trunk was going to have the bass from the left channel this way or the right channel. I'm pointing towards Johnny's left shoulder as I'm saying this. That's why I said left channel. Anyway, so if a Van Halen album was on in that car, the bass was on Eddie's side. So you'd only have bass coming out of the sub from the kick drum. There was no Michael Anthony. Like the low end from Michael Anthony's bass was non-existent in those early Van Halen albums, you know?
Zach asked what effects Eddie was using on 5150. Was he still using his Holy Grail head? But he was
for the album?
Yeah.
Actually, Steve, you still have that magazine with the cloud guitar on the front?
There you go.
Oh, yes, I do.
That actually tells you everything that he used for that tour, I think.
Bring it up.
Bringing it.
But Zach, he definitely was using these Eventide harmonizers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stereo, and they were given this like little chorusy tways. I call it tways for
Little?
some. I don't know. Yeah,
Little
big,
chorus?
Big.
Yeah.
But he was like detuning and his sound just a little and doubling it, so it sounded like multiple guitars, but it was one. And
yeah, it was like -4, like
on one side, and yeah, so
+4 on the other, or something like that.
it's when he started going wet, dry, wet. I think was for 5150, I believe.
I can read the paragraph if you guys want me to.
Rip it.
5150 tour effects. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, rip it up.
Okay.
Do we have a choice?
Yeah, right. The most important equipment at Van Halen Effects Rack, partially designed by Clark, Bob Bradshaw, and Andy Brower. It contains 2
Andy
Roland
Brower?
SDE 3000s, a Lexicon PCM 70, that's for Cathedral, a Rain SM26 mixer, 2 Eventide model H949 harmonizers, a Rocktron exciter / Imager / Hush 2, and a Rocktron Hush double IC, whatever. Yeah.
Wait, the double IC? I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway,
There you
if
go.
someone wants to know.
So the main part of that is going to be those Eventides that give it that sound. Just listen to Black and Blue. It's all you need to know about what he was trying to do with his sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back to what you guys were saying earlier, if I could just interject for a second. The band Alice in Chains, Lane Staley used to say about the lyrics was whatever you think it's about, that's what the song's about. So he was another one of those guys. I'm not telling you anything about what it's about. Whatever you think.
But if you read the lyrics, you're like, wow, all these songs are about drugs.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Whatever you think they're about, they're about.
Here's a good question for us and for people out there. When you're listening to the Van Halen catalog on shuffle, and so it's bringing everything in, are you going past more Sammy songs, or are you going past more Dave songs? Do you know what I mean? Like, are you flipping ahead?
I don't really think about it like that.
How many bad, or not bad, but lesser caliber Van Halen songs are there with Dave?
Well, 6 albums versus 4.
Right, but there's more songs on the Sammy record, so it kind of evens out a little.
That's true. I guess the only songs from like the Sammy era I would skip would be on Balance, even though I love Balance. But I mean, the ballads on that record I really don't like. They sound forced and they sound generic to me, as you know.
Yeah.
But that's a good question.
I mean, Deja Vu, probably one of my favorite songs of the whole, you know, catalog.
Really?
I love that song.
Wow.
I think it's his sound in that song at that part is probably as good a tone as he's gotten, you know, post early Van Halen for me, you know, post Fair Warning or something. But I love it. It just growls that
whole I mean, Balance, right?
Yeah,
Balance?
great.
That whole album just to crank in the car as you're driving down the freeway is a great one because it's such a huge sounding record. I mean, the guitar is so big sounding.
Yeah.
Especially
the kick drum thumps, it hits you in the chest. Yeah. The bass guitar, I think, on that album is the best bass tone on any Van Halen album. I mean, it's oh man, it's awesome. I think that album, I guess sonically, if you just go by the rules or whatever, sonically, it's the most perfect.
For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, probably might have the best drum recording.
Oh man, I have to well, it's all preference and it's all.
It is, but I mean, it is the guy that recorded Bonham.
Well, that's what he was going for.
Yeah, and that's the first Van Halen record you could hear Michael Anthony on. You could actually hear him. Like,
no, for me, the video when I saw "Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do" and Ed's sort of using the side of his pick on the intro riff, and I'm just like I don't know how enhanced the sound must have been in the studio for him to get that sound out of using the side of his pick on the low E, but it was huge.
Well, he dropped the D on that one.
Yeah, no, but it's just a huge sound, and I was like, wow, it's so enhanced. Yeah.
If you guys want to see, if you look up the old Jon Stewart show where they play a bunch of songs, and Amsterdam. they do Amsterdam and Aftershock on that broadcast.
Yep.
You're not going to see Eddie Van Halen play better in his life. He's clean. He's totally sober, and he's just destroying that performance.
Even on David Letterman when they did Not Enough. Eddie brought even Dave says it. Look at all this equipment, Eddie. What the hell are you doing? And he was just on fire, like you said. The solo, every note,
the Aftershock performance for me. I mean, he is just
tuned down. Doesn't have the same. I know it's for that's when Sammy was getting a little couldn't lazy as much, but yeah. I know Sammy. When I watched that Aftershock live, he's lacking.
There's a guy in the chat here. Ken Stowe is his name. I haven't seen his name before. It says earlier the album, browner the sound. I guess for me, the brownest sound would be Fair Warning. So because I think the first album, second album, third album, all kind of had a different sound. Brown for me is Fair Warning for some reason. When I hear like Unchained or Mean Street, that's brown to me. And I know there's these pedals have come out where you can get a sound that's like the first record, that BOD, the early Van Halen sound. Then there's the 5150 Overdrive, which is more current. Mm-hmm. But to get the brown sound, they've talked about this pedal called the Dirty Shirley or something. So I've got to try that one because that's one of my favorite sounds is that from Fair Warning. Yeah.
Listen to the Full Bug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of people think that
when he goes quiet in the breakdown of the Full Bug, listen to that tone. He's just he's dialing off his volume on that. And I think for me, that's the brown sound for me.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's between Fair Warning and Women and Children as the two definitive brown.
Diver Down, but Full Bug's on Diver Down.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking. Yeah, don't listen to me right now.
Zach Moon asked me, do I store guitars on the couch? Zach, I have I think just my EVH guitars are here, about 8 of them or something. I've got about, I don't know, another 15 guitars in my den. Yeah. So yeah.
So Johnny, are you back?
Dang. Huh?
Are you back?
I'm here. Did I ever answer that question?
No. Steve wouldn't let you.
No. He said, "Oh, you ate one too."
No, he said women and children first.
Oh yeah, I said women and children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dave, yeah, air for me is fair warning. Yeah.
So as far as getting that tone, people, I don't think, everybody says, "Oh, it's in the fingers." Well, a lot of it, I'm telling you, people don't think of it this way. A lot of it is the right hand with the pick, man. It's a lot of the way the angle, how they might angle it differently a lot of the sound is in the picking hand as well as that left hand, those left hand fingers.
Well, I mean, Satriani says Eddie Van Halen is the best right hand in the history of rock guitar. He's the best rhythm guitar player, he said, of all time. You start talking about his lead playing, but as far as rhythms and locking in with his brother, who he's been playing with since birth, so
he's a lot tighter than Alex. A lot tight. You can tell on that. Just on Live Without a Net alone. There's times when Alex will be like, there's a part with just the, like the 5150 riff, that whole thing. Like after the solo, it goes back to the intro, and Alex starts hitting the hi-hat, and he's like, he starts to cook it, and then a tom triggers because he's got those stupid Simmons toms or whatever.
And that's, by the way, that's why 5150 doesn't get high enough marks for me. It's because of those frickin' Simmons drums. Oh my God. I would almost re-record that record with real toms.
Well, all you'd have to do is remix it, and then just replace the, trigger the toms with real,
it's just toms. It's so cheap. It's cheap sounding.
I think it dates it to that time period.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
For sure.
And just everybody in the chat, we're asking, like, what's your favorite? It's not like I'll sit here and listen to Van Halen 2 till tomorrow, like no problem. I'm saying I love it all. I'm just saying if I have to pick a singer or pick an album, that's the answer I'm going with. But it's not like I don't like it all.
And I have two answers for two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was saying about women and children, that record, take all that reverb away, and there's nothing on that record that dates it to a certain time period, really, sound-wise.
And good acoustic stuff on there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else, you hear something, and it's like, oh, that you can tell that's from this year. Oh, I'm sorry. You can tell that's from. I just hit a button. You can tell that's from whatever, certain tones or whatever. And then what was the other? As far as the tone. I think a lot of it comes from this hand, from the picking, how hard you hit the digging in.
Yep.
That's
the angle.
The angle. That's the sound.
Yep.
Like you guys, I'm catching up here, you guys. Like you guys are talking about the "Don't Tell Me" intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all. This right here.
Yep.
Well, he's a percussionist too, so he plays the guitar like a bass player sometimes. The best bass, the best bass players are the percussive bass players, the guys who can lock in the best with the drums. Those are the best bass players, and he plays a lot of bass, and you can tell.
Yep. So. And I still don't get the. We've all tried the whole. I call it fulcrum picking. When Eddie does the whole this thing. Sometimes he does it with the middle finger. But
he does it. Oh yeah, he plays very little with the index finger.
Yeah. So, the right arm, the forearm is braced on the on the body, but still to get it that clean, and when I'm playing. And I think a lot of people that are learning how to play guitar should take this to heart. When you're playing something, and I've talked about this before on the show, but with your left hand, whatever strings are not being played, you always have to mute stuff. If strings are ringing out, things sound sloppy, right? So with the right hand, certain strings, with either it's your palm or your pinky, or there's certain ways you can position your hand. Same with the left hand. When you're playing a chord or you're playing a note, you always need to be conscious of the strings that aren't being played. You don't want them ringing out and sounding sloppy. So I saw Paul Gilbert do this.
Yep.
Play any note on the guitar and strum every single string.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
No, the whole point is like with your left hand to be able to do certain things to have no other string ring out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And a lot of people can't do it. It's very tricky, but you have to really mute the strings you're not playing.
There used to be those stills in like Circus Magazine and Hit Parader and stuff of Eddie soloing, probably like the end of his solo where he'd be up on the 22nd and just doing that thing. And I literally copied the shape of his hand from the magazine still and figured out that he's just rolling his radius around his ulna and
but the amazing thing is like he's doing the exact opposite of what I was just talking about. Like he's not muting the rest of the strings with like doing something like over the top. He's just hitting one fret, bending it up, and nothing else is ringing out. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'll throw some distortion on that and see what happens, Not
at this hour.
It's crazy, man.
So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What? Is Steve typing?
Yeah.
Oh, now he's answering questions.
Well, I have the chat now. I didn't ever had it before.
No, Wolf hasn't come out. Vintage Sounds. Wolf hasn't come out with that record. We're waiting patiently. It's been 2 years now.
And John BL 5150 says selective muting is one of the best skills to learn. It really is, man. It really is.
Yep.
And one of the other lessons from Paul Gilbert is to really like that whole muting of everything's one thing, but just any time, especially playing live, is to and practicing is to play with real conviction, like you really mean it, like hitting the notes and making make it sound the best you can, even when you're practicing. That was a big lesson I had from him too. Because I used to have those intense rock videos when I was younger, and that sort of sent me in a new world. Was one of his intense rock videos. I think the second one I had, and and he had a great record in 1991. He played at the Frankfurt, Germany 1991 Jazz Festival. He did like 5 Jimi Hendrix covers. And so they do the song like Purple Haze, like do it normally like 3.5 minutes, but then he'd solo after that for like 10 minutes.
For 3.5 hours.
Well, yeah. And so
talking about Paul Gilbert, right?
Yeah, it was a big lesson for me just to all the time play with conviction all the time. Yeah.
I went to MI, and he was a teacher there.
Yeah.
When I went, and so I'd literally have a class where we sat in like a 10 by 12 room with 6 guitar players and Paul Gilbert, and we're all plugged in, and he's showing you stuff that you'll never learn. And you'll never be. I mean, there's a lot of guys who were into that, speed picking and sweeping and all the arpeggios. This was 1987.
But he still had the mullet.
Oh yeah, no, he looked terrible. And but he had his pink Ibanez. He had that new deal with Ibanez, and he was in Racer X, and he's doing the drill thing, but he was ridiculous. He made you want to quit. He was one of those guys that just made you want to stop. Like he just had it all down.
Certain guitar players you listen to and you're like, oh man, I want to pick up my guitar. And then there's certain guys you listen to and like, I want to throw my guitar away. eBay, selling it.
Yeah. Who's that? That guy Mateo, the Asian guy. Anybody follow him on Instagram?
No.
God, I gotta find him. He is just the most tasty player I've ever heard in my life. I gotta pull him up. I don't know how I got on that, but this is a Van Halen chat. Go ahead.
Well, as far as myself, there's nobody that makes me want to throw that in the garbage. You know, I mean, anything. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I like to listen to, you know, the music, not even guitar, just music in general. You know, I'll hear a great, you know, it can be keyboard, it can be, you know, just a chord. You know, I can hear something and it'll make me want to play, make me want to create something, make me want to write, you know, record, whatever. But there's nobody that's ever made me want to quit, or toss it in the trash.
I don't know if we were speaking.
Really, yeah,
yeah.
It's more of a thing like where, you know, like I started playing because I wanted to do what he was doing. I wanted to do what Ed was doing. I had to achieve that sound. I had to get there.
Yeah.
And when you hear guys that are doing stuff that you literally know in your heart that you could never do, but you secretly wish you could, or even outwardly, you get like this feeling like, wow, like I'm worthless, you know, like there's nothing I can do to touch that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This guy's name is Mateus Asato. He's big. He's got like 600,000 followers. I'm going to play something from him for you guys.
You're going to get Jim.
Is it live?
Page flag.
Is it a live thing?
It's a live thing just through his own Instagram.
Okay. That should be okay.
What? Right? I mean,
so, I see Nuno. Now you're just showing off now, right? Are you sorry, something like that?
And it's funny because he's a Nuno fan, but Nuno's a fan of his. Like,
right on.
They trade.
Nuno Betancourt followed my wife for a couple hours.
where was this?
Yeah, like in the supermarket. Or?
Yeah, at the local food line. No, on Instagram.
This guy's like one of the, 8 Sir artists. So he's a Sir guy.
Cool.
Oh man, there you go.
I can see Steve's face in there. You see that? Look at that. It's like Steve is playing. It's the guitar, and then you see Steve's face. Did you guys see that?
You make me want to quit playing guitar.
That makes me want to quit.
Steve is taking over everything here.
Yeah, that's the.
Steve Andersen take over.
That was a thumbnail. Thumbnail.
Yeah, somebody find out the timestamp of that so everybody can see that. Also, the Vigilant. No, that's not going to do that because that was just his Instagram stuff.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh wow, there you go, buddy. Sing.
Does anyone have the Phase 90, the EVH? I have the old orange one with the mod, the script mod on it.
I used to have the EVH one, but I had to sell some stuff, and I knew I could always get another one. So it's good. I don't have it now, but it's a good one.
Yes, Zach Moon. I play I play a Phase 90. I don't have the EVH. I play the old school one, the MXR. I'd say practice where you want it. I'd say I'd put it at about 12 o'clock. That's a lot of sweep. You could put it.
Ed puts it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'd say 9 o'clock is a little mellower. Just practice with what you like, man. Someone else asked something about Jimi Hendrix. I think Vintage Sounds asked, how did Jimi Hendrix play at high volume and control the volume? I can't answer that myself. I'm a massive Jimi Hendrix fan, but I know.
Well, how do you play the Strat with the knob?
Yeah, I mean,
how did that?
I know he always had he was kicking on a wah pedal a lot, even on Star Spangled Banner he did.
Oh my God.
I don't know if he was controlling volume with the foot pedal or not. Or
he flipped his strings, but have you ever seen these lefties that don't flip their strings? It's probably the craziest thing I've ever seen in guitar. You ever see these lefties that don't flip their strings? They flip the guitar.
You're telling me that their low E is the high E?
Yes.
You know what's funny about that? This band I record, their rhythm guitar player is a lefty. He'll pick up a right-handed guitar and he'll be able to play stuff. And I'm like, dude, when I pick up your guitar, it's like I've never played guitar before in my life. Like it's a foreign thing. Meanwhile, he picks up a right-handed guitar and he can play stuff. And I'm like, he's like, well, the thing is I've always been around right-handed guitars. So I'm used to it. So I mean, I guess maybe that's the reason.
I'm left-handed with everything I do except guitar.
Really?
Everything.
Everything?
Yes. What are you, your Nesdall now?
Hey, Vintage Sounds is throwing some love out to Larry Mitchell.
Eric Gales. Look up Eric Gales. He's the guy that flips the guitar. He's ridiculous. I can't stand much of his facial expressions, but he is crazy.
Hey, Vintage Sounds. He says, I think Larry Mitchell is a great songwriter and guitar player. Yes, and I don't know if you were here when he was on, but his first record made me ask my parents for a guitar for my 15th birthday.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. I mean, I always kind of wanted to play, like, oh, I want to play guitar. I want to play guitar. But when I was listening to that album, it was like, yeah, I want a guitar.
Yeah, I believe I had the presence of mind to know that if I stayed left-handed, I'd only be able to try 5% of the guitars in the world, So I forced myself to learn right-handed.
Did you ever pick up a left-handed guitar?
I think before I ever. No, I don't. Maybe I don't think I ever did. I don't think I did. I think I picked up guitars as a lefty.
Really? So I wonder. How I almost said how more gooder you'd be.
Have you had your second rum yet?
I'm gonna go pour it. But the thing is, with this cup, I put way too much rum in and not enough Coke. So it was like,
I know you gotta sort out your new balance.
Yeah, it blasted the hell out of me. So I wonder if you actually played left-handed, because obviously you're a really good guitar player. But I wonder if you'd actually be better if you actually played lefty.
That's great. No, I mean, I've always thought about it. I think it's an advantage to have my good hand on the fretboard. I think that helps with my dexterity there a lot more. But definitely my rhythm might suffer because it's the opposite. I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question, but you know, I've been playing for 35 years, so
it's like a boxer. You know, a lot of like Mike Tyson was a lefty, but Customato made him go righty because that left to the body or whatever, the left hook was his lead hand was his strong hand. So a lot of boxers do that.
That was one of the Rocky movies too, where he had to switch. Yeah.
If you want to, Charlie S is talking about it. If you want to see a guy play the guitar upside down, look up Eric Gales, Gales. He's got an Instagram, and you'll just watch him playing the opposite way. The low he is.
I don't think I'd want to see that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The first time I ever saw it was this guy named, I forgot his name. He was the guy in the Michael Jackson band during the Victory tour, and he was the one who played the Eddie solo that when Eddie wasn't there, you know, so which was only one time, but he was a left-handed guitar player that flipped the guitar, and I saw him there was this jam night in Hollywood at this place called the Central, and he would come play blues, and he was ridiculous. I forgot his name, but he flipped the guitar, and it's just the weirdest thing you'll ever see.
So Scott Nickerson asked Caleb, how do you swing as far as like baseball or hockey or whatever?
Oh yeah, left, shoot left. I bat left. I throw left. I'm a long, lanky first baseman, lefty first baseman.
Wow, because I throw righty, bat lefty. Hockey played lefty, but as a goalie, I was a righty.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as being a hitter in baseball, like a lot of people say that guys that bat lefty throw righty, their more dominant eye is their right eye, which is, you know, facing the pitcher. So that's why a lot of those guys that throw righty, bat lefty are really good hitters.
Right.
So that's why I was thinking about you. I was like, maybe but you're basically everything lefty. Wow.
Everything. Exactly. Except this.
That's crazy.
It is.
How many times did or Eddie play with Michael Jackson live?
Once in Houston.
And it was terrible.
Dallas.
It was terrible.
Well, you know what happened? He was in E flat.
Yes. And
he didn't know it.
Yep.
He didn't. He went to the gig with a half step down tune guitar.
Jay Hannon's given me heck for that on this show before.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Wouldn't they have done a rehearsal though?
No.
Come on, Eddie probably showed up right when the gig was 5 minutes before they played the song, you know.
Well, again, I like it. I like that video. I think
it's funny.
You can hear him start out like just way off, and then he figures it out. So he
adjusted
exactly. But it starts out, you're like, what is that? You know?
Yeah, and Michael Jackson was like, what is that?
Yeah, Michael's like, Eddie.
If I just keep yelling Eddie, nobody will hear the, you know. And there's that one video when he was playing live with Slash, and Slash wouldn't stop soloing, and Michael got pissed.
Charlie S asks, question, guys, what pedal would Eddie be able to give up and maintain his sound?
Well, I mean, which sound? I mean, it's I mean, he's not getting his sound through a pedal. So
yeah, that's the mystery for a lot of us. Whatever era of Eddie you want to, you know, cop his sound. It's tough for all of us to figure out how to get that, depending on what record or song. Yeah,
it's in his hands, the sound. So I don't know, but he's definitely not using an overdrive pedal. So
do you guys know, like, so these rack effects, like say a harmonizer, right? Is there a pedal that you can get?
Yeah, the H9, the Eventide H9.
So that's just a floor pedal straight up.
Yeah, and you can get the same unit that Eddie's using in his rack mount Eventides from that era, and they have presets in there in the stock version that say, like, you know, Panama, you know, and you can hear it. I mean, it's a little soupier, and you can dial it back, but it's definitely there, and it's definitely the effect that he's using.
So that's called the Eventide H9, you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's not a cheap pedal. It's, you know, you get one that's half low. They got one that comes with nothing on it. They got one that comes with half the stuff on it, and they have one that comes with everything on it, and everything is $500 pedal.
Yeah, right. Where is it recommended to put that, Caleb? As far as the chain of
in your loop. In your loop.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, R2, R3.
Yeah, Dave has an H9.
Oh, right on.
And he uses it on his wet, dry, wet.
Right. Has anyone tried a Gorilla guitar? They are a custom metal guitar company. Scott Nickerson asks. I don't know of the Gorilla guitar. Caleb, do you know of that guitar at all?
I don't.
Oh, okay. It's from a metal guitar company, apparently.
It's literally made of metal?
I know. I think that's the style.
Okay.
Of guitar.
Johnny, welcome back. We had 3 minutes of dead air.
Oh,
Just kidding.
No.
it's the Steve show, man. This is
Yeah. I brought a lot of framed photos out of my den that you guys haven't seen before.
Oh man.
Yeah. So back to Alice in Chains. You guys know I go down to the Cobble Wobble Cantina sort of regularly for Sammy's birthday bash. About 10 years ago, I was at the cantina. There's the inside club, but then on the outside, there's a courtyard, lots of tables, and there's a couple different bars on one side of it. Anyway, this guy walks past me with a sort of a ponytail, hair tied up thing, and hey, man, I think that's Jerry Cantrell. Anyway, so Jerry walks to the bar, and so I just want to meet the guy, maybe get a photo for my friends or whatever, right? So I ended up, hey, Jerry, my name's Steve Andersen from Vancouver Island. I've seen you back in your Chains days for, they used to play this concert up here called the Lollapalooza tour. That probably came down to you too, Johnny. Lollapalooza shows early 90s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So this is me and Jerry Cantrell back in, about 2000, probably 10 years ago.
Wow.
Jerry's in the white shirt. That's me. So I bought him
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell who.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to say which one was which. I knew it was coming. Awesome.
So anyway, he goes, "Oh man, I'm just gonna pay for this beer and I'll get the photo with you." So I bought him a Corona on the spot. And then he was with a buddy of his, and his buddy took the photo. Yeah. But awesome. Jerry's down there. Jerry's down there like every October, and he comes out and they always play the song "A Man in the Box." Yeah,
I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
I've seen those. So, wait, actually, Steve, were you there? Was it last year? Yes. when they played Mine Oh Mine?
Yeah, and the song Cobble Wobble, and also
is that your favorite song?
Yes, sir. And and also they've been cracking out the last couple of years. Seventh Seal they've been playing the last couple of years. So yeah, that Vic Johnson, man, he's pretty brushed up with all the Van Halen stuff, whether it's the Dave era or Sammy era. Yeah. Real
quick, John B, our shirts are coming. Steve, did you see that in the chat? He just mailed them.
Right on.
Our poof shirts.
Yeah. I was severely jealous when those guys were wearing them.
John, I might have to email you because I think I ruined my shirt.
Oh. It's a white shirt, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah. There's a stain here. And then my wife washed it on or dried it on super high, and it's shaped like a box now. So I'm gonna send you some money and have you make me a new one. Maybe a different material, maybe 50-50 or something. I apologize, dude.
You know, the first concert, the first Van Halen concert I went to was 0812, right? And I would wear those T-shirts, and I didn't want anything. And this was years ago, you guys. Well, you know, whenever that, you know, 88, 30 years ago. You know, I'd wear those shirts. You know, I'd wear them, you know, after, you know, gym, you know, not actually after, you know, somebody named Jim. I mean, you know, after gym class, you know, and I would sweat. I'd sweat in those shirts and everything. And I didn't want anything to happen to them, so I would never wash them.
Oof. That was you.
You know what?
That guy.
You know what?
So I was the guy in the school with a Van Halen shirt. That was just, yeah, that was me.
You know what? I can't really blame you, because if I buy like a football jersey or even like a football sweatshirt, like a Bears something, unless it's a T-shirt, if it's a sweatshirt or like a windbreaker or something like that, like it'll be something will have to get on it before I wash it, because I don't want something to happen to it.
Well, all my concert shirts from the early, mid to late 80s all shrunk like I was still a little boy. Those sizes, you know, they say L on the tag and they're tiny, and my wife wears them or something. In fact, I sold most of them recently on eBay to pay for this build. So that's what's pretty.
There you go.
Cool.
John BL5150 says, at Vintage Sounds, I've been getting into a lot of early Sabbath lately. Yeah, so John BL, actually, back to Eddie Van Halen stuff, one of Eddie's favorite songs was Into the Void off of the Master of Reality album. And it's actually a song I jam a lot. And I got into some of the early Sabbath stuff because it was an influence of Van Halen in their early days doing club shows. So yeah, good stuff to learn, the early Sabbath stuff.
Well, real quick, John, it wasn't just the poof shirt. In that same load of laundry was my brand new EVH shirt with the EVH logo.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Dude, Jeannie wore it to bed last night because it's now like a female nightshirt. Dude,
she might have done that. She might have done that on purpose.
No, dude, she was like, I took it out of the wash, out of the dryer.
She wanted to copy your shirt,
and I put it on, and I was like, I can't wear this, can I? And she's like, the sleeves were like up to here. I was like, son of a gun, man.
So did that happen before? I was talking with you the other day. Oh no, yeah, you must have said something, because you said you washed it, and I said, what? Now it just says poo.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
Poo.
Yeah, and I told you guys, I said Eddie's got to step up his T-shirt game, man. He can't be selling something that like fits perfectly, and then once you wash it, this is the third Eddie Van Halen shirt that I've had that I can't wear.
Yeah, Jay. So the trick is turn it inside out when you wash it, but don't put it in the dryer. You got to hang it to dry. Otherwise, no, I'm just saying, if you don't want the thing to shrink, don't put it in the dryer.
I get the concept. I mean, it's 100% cotton. We've all seen Seinfeld. You know, when George tells the New York Yankees to go 100% cotton on the jerseys, and they're great for one game, and then they wash them and they're all tight. I mean, that should have been like news to the world. Like, hey, 100% cotton shrinks.
So Michael Smith asks, what are your opinions of Kiesel guitars, guys? I don't know of Kiesel guitars. You guys?
Yes.
Okay. What do you know about them, Johnny?
Yeah. I know that they're made by Carvin, right?
I think Carvin bought Kiesel, or is it vice versa?
It's one or the other. I know. Well, Caleb, didn't we go to their booth? Did we?
Was that who we went to?
Did we walk past there? Was that this year? Maybe it was last year. I remember going and looking. Oh, Michael, I was with you. It was with Michael Smith.
Oh.
We went. Yeah, we went to
Get
that.
Michael in here.
Yeah, Michael. I thought you wanted to.
Yeah, I thought-
Yeah, as far as the t-shirts that shrink, I got a shirt from Target that said medium, and now it's like comes up to here.
yeah,
You
now
know?
it's a medium.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Caleb.
Yeah.
That little lick, right? What is it? Can I show you real quick what I've been doing? I just been doing, you know, I'll do it slow. I tuned it back to E, but so I've just been doing. I gotta move this thing down. So I've just been doing. I'll play it slow. No, that's wrong. Was that?
No,
He picks every note.
it's this. It's no, it's actually doesn't. He goes. And then goes back one. And he does the same thing, 12 on octave up. And then
Yeah, and then there's the you were playing that part before the He goes down to the
okay, here.
yeah.
Oh.
You go down there. That one chord, you got to go down to.
Oh, I didn't know.
Something like that, right? Well, when I have rum in me, you got to show me the lick. Now I can't play it, but I don't remember it. Because all the tabs I've seen, I'm like, that's wrong. You know?
Yeah, some guy on YouTube I learned it from. It sounds right to me. It's in line with what he does. It's that same scale he does at the end of the jump solo where he just uses the same shape all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You know, the you know,
it's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite Roth songs. You know?
Yeah. He also uses it in the that lead right before the "I'm the One" vocal comes in.
Yes, that sounds right.
And he's not picking every note. It's because Alex is playing every note under him that it sounds like it.
I don't know, man. It sounds.
You just can't do it. It's impossible at that speed. That's picking every note.
That's why I'm thinking if it is the way I was thinking, you know, I could pick all. Oh, and that sounds. The first couple sounds wrong. So
you know what? Just has anyone ever seen that? There's this really clean version of "Somebody Get Me a Doctor" from the US Festival. Has anyone seen that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an 11-minute video, and it's for some reason the only clean, like really great quality video of the whole show that's on the internet. And in the middle of that song, they do pieces of "Girl Gone Bad" because it was before they recorded it, and you can probably tell in that.
They play that part?
Yep.
Yeah.
No poop. Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
Yeah, dude. US Festival, "Somebody Get Me a Doctor." It's in the middle when Alex and Eddie are trading.
Oh, they're doing the
Yeah.
that whole thing.
Okay. Yep. But they start playing "Girl Gone Bad."
Hey, Mad Dog. Mad Dog's in the house. I got another poster to show you guys. Hold on.
Steve's a machine.
I had every poster, and I don't know what I did with them. I mean,
You're not gonna have this one.
Let me see.
Zip.
Here we go. Sammy Hagar, Red Rocker, live in concert, birthday bash, Cabo San Lucas, October 18th and 19th, 1995.
Definitely don't have that.
There you go. Yeah.
Does Sammy know you took that right off the wall?
Yeah, right.
Wabo, wabo.
Yeah, unless you're there, like at the they have a gift shop at the cantina, and that's where you get like all the posters that are sort of one of a kind like this, or T-shirts. I'll show you the T-shirt from last year.
R2, R3, no, it's not like we're dueling because I would lose. I can't get into a guitar duel like that.
What?
Huh?
This is last year's Sammy Hagar birthday bash T-shirt, 70th birthday. Yeah.
Is that what that says?
That's
Yep.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? All these
it makes me sad. It makes
heroes,
me sad.
Heroes, all the heroes of ours from the 80s are all like senior citizens now.
Well, what's crazy is I was watching
the logo.
I was watching a hockey game last night, and they had a referee it was his last game of like 1,600 games reffed.
Yeah.
And I remember when he was new, because we'd all get on him for being a new ref that sucked. And
now he's retiring.
And now he's retiring. It's just
well, it's funny. I know, not everybody's a sports fan, but I remember, being a kid and watching sports, and like all these guys, it's like, oh, you look up to them. They're all older. And I remember my father and grandfather, we'd be watching a game and like, oh, this kid so-and-so, oh, this kid's good, this kid, whatever. And now I'm saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm like twice as, well, almost, I'm 40, so, but I'm almost twice as old as a lot of these kids.
Well, and
it's
40
crazy.
40 is like the virtual end of every professional career in sports. So it's like when you hit 40, like that dream is gone, no matter, even if you thought you could work out and get it back in shape and try out for the team. You're 40, it's over.
Especially like Dominic Hasek, where it's like, what was he, 43 and still playing or something crazy?
Yeah, or Yager. Yeah, Yager.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. The guys in the chat want some Eric Clapton or something, so. That's all you're getting.
That's actually the first riff I've ever learned on guitar.
There you go.
Wow.
I covered it for you, Caleb.
From a teacher. Yeah.
That's what I do here. You need a Floyd Rose, I send it to you.
You did.
He doesn't put on his guitar.
I did.
Yeah, the Blackhawks last night put a 36 or 37-year-old accountant or something, amateur goalie.
Yeah, Caleb put that up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had 7 saves, and they won the game, even though, they're not making the playoffs. We'll see what happens to that team in the offseason.
Yeah, he played like 13 minutes, so it wasn't like he just got like a shot. Like he had to face real life.
A power play, too.
And he stopped everything. So
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, cool.
So, Johnny, are you there?
I have no clue what you guys even just said.
You're welcome, Vintage Sounds. Now that I have the chat, we're a little bit more in action.
We.
We'll just keep trading Van Halen licks,
Yeah.
Who else is here? Hey, man. We.
Well, my Ravens suck.
Are you in a boat?
So it always, that's the shot. It looks like he's below deck.
I'm drowning over here, huh?
He's in Long Island with Roy Scheider. They're chasing down a great white.
Right, he looks a little bit like Dreyfus.
Dreyfus.
I'm drowning over here, huh?
What the hell? You got? Oh man, here we go.
There it is. You got it.
There you go. Okay.
There it is. I just got dizzy.
Yeah, that's what happens when I watch it.
I jump on it 2 seconds and I ruin the entire show. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good, man.
1,100 men went into the water.
Came out.
Came out August the 28th, 1945. But we delivered the bomb.
What an amazing scene, by the way. God, Jaws is so good.
The best movie. So good.
No, for me, Michael, there's like, I have a list of movies, like if they come on a weekend, like
You can't stop watching.
I stop what I'm doing.
Rocky
and I'm
IV.
watching. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws,
Rocky
Poltergeist,
IV.
yeah.
Either Godfather.
Goodfellas,
Goodfellas.
Godfather 1 or 2, Jaws. Yeah.
Dutchie 5150 is in the house.
Hey, Dutchie.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Call the
I
cops.
haven't seen him in a bit. Yeah.
He's in the house. Like, which room? Which room? Which room is he in?
Yeah. We got 35 5150s here.
That's cool. At friggin' 2 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast.
Nice.
Yeah, they know the real deal. That's right here.
And
Yeah,
Fender Guru is complimenting my tone on my little tiny Yamaha
yeah.
THX5 or something, whatever the hell this thing is.
Well,
I always
it's-
forget what it's called.
You dig that though, Jay? You're always talking about those.
Dude, it sounds awesome, and
good tone, don't it?
It's you know, it's easy.
Oh, I love my Roland Cube. That little cube amp is awesome.
Mhm.
Great sounds through that.
Does it have any effects on it or no?
It does. It's got delay, and then you can separate. You can use like phaser, flanger, chorus,
Yeah.
tremolo. It's good. It's a really good amp. It's
Or as the
cheap.
Canadians call it, tremolo.
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 Out now.
Deckles.
And what else? Ali Lally Aluminum. Is that what they call it?
Out.
I think literally you can plug. Never mind.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not trading licks here and getting into a guitar duel. So things like that. Yeah.
Steve, is that that book? Is that that
Yeah,
book?
yeah. This is
Is
the big book I bought 2 days ago.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. It's 350 pages of famous guitars. It's called what's it called? Ultimate Star Guitars is what it's called.
Great.
And yeah, so all the guys we've been talking about are in here. I'll try to find some of them.
Hold on. Is James Hetfield's
No,
ESP
no.
what?
I'm sorry.
The EF guitar?
No. We've been
It's
talking
not in
about
there?
we're talking about Jimi Hendrix. Here's a
Throw it
Jimi
away.
Hendrix shot.
Throw it away.
Yeah, right. I'll look up. I got to look at the glossary here. H.
Do you know this one, Jay? Just all the way up.
No.
8 frets. It's like that run he does in the full bug.
Was that 12 to 18? Is that what that is?
Yep.
It looks like you're going 12 to 27.
27.
It just looked like it was a super stretch.
27.
It looked like it was a super stretch, man.
Here's Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick. That
Oh yeah.
nobody has.
It's
Yeah.
not the ice cream man.
I saw that tour when he took that guitar out.
Oh yeah.
Ice
That
Cream
was
Man
great.
is nine frets.
Yeah, that extra fret is a lot.
It hurts.
Yeah, it does. Yep. That's why that whole cheating thing with the tapping the 19th,
Yeah.
the 19th is
But he doesn't. Like he
doesn't.
He does it. Yeah. Do you do middle finger or index finger tapping?
Index, and I
Me too.
push down.
And do you tuck the pick?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's that. It. I know there are great guitar players that play with the middle finger, but for me, that was always like that disqualified you. Like for me, like it always just looked. It just didn't look good.
So when you tap, do you pull off down or do you pull off up?
Up. I come up.
You guys go up?
Yep.
I go down.
No, I think I'm pushing away from. I'm pushing away.
Yeah, me too.
My whole life, I did the down thing, and then Nesdal was like, "Hey," he was doing something, and then all of a sudden I realized Eddie always went up.
Yeah.
All those years, and I always did the down, and so now, you know, if and when I tap, I go up just to do it. But
what feels better for you since you've been doing it so long? Down.
Yeah.
Probably down. I mean, I'm quicker. I'm quicker down.
Well, I always thought of it like if you're playing with your left hand, you know, if you're doing this,
it's going down.
Going down.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a different feeling, but. What is that sound?
What are you playing through, dude?
He's got his.
It's like he's
guitar going into the headphone jack into his stereo.
It's one of those like bike horns. I'm sorry, Steve.
Steve, wait. As far as that book,
yeah.
Is Andy Summers in there?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll go to the glossary. It's all alphabetical, so it should be quick.
Rescue him.
Yeah.
He's in the book.
The Vigilant says, Caleb, what's the pattern run you just did in that Spanish fly part before the hammer on and tapping?
Oh, shit. I mean, that stuff. I'd have to watch it back. I don't even know. Oh, my goodness. That one?
I don't know.
Something like that?
Yeah, Johnny, 1961 Telecaster.
There you go.
Johnny Beane.
It's sitting right behind Johnny.
Something kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
There we go.
61 Telecaster.
That's a cool picture right there.
What is he wearing? Is that an NFL penalty flag sticking out of his pocket?
Totally.
It's a white jumpsuit and a yellow penalty flag.
Penalty flag.
Right, what
bad dog in the chat room today?
You just came.
LBX $300 Canadian, I guess. What is that?
It's funny how the police were so huge, and then like they never really got along. It seemed like
it was.
And then they sort of like disbanded, and then it was crazy because Synchronicity, like it went #1, and then like a month later, they broke up.
Dude, watch
#1.
Copeland wanted to beat the hell out of Sting.
Oh yeah,
the best, man.
It's just amazing. And then like even when we listen to those songs now, like how like unique their sound was. Like they kind of, I think a lot of bands are like that. They don't realize like how like huge and important their sound was at the time, but they just
they do realize that's the problem.
They just can't get along. I guess as soon as they get money's involved and who's getting what cut, and
wasn't Sting like one of the driving forces behind them breaking up, like the major force?
They hated each other. They all hated each other.
Yeah,
and Sting wrote all the music and kept all the money and
Sting wrote, you know, all the hits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially Synchronicity album. That album was so huge. Yeah.
Yes.
But we're talking Police, so let Johnny talk.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
The Police was actually Stewart's band. Stewart is the one that started that band.
Really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So every record that they did, you know, after the first record, Andy and Stewart, you know, they tried getting their own songs on those records. So you listen to all those all those albums, and there's songs. Most of them are Sting, but you'll get a couple Andy Summers tunes, a couple Copeland tunes, and then finally when it came down to Synchronicity, they each got a song apiece. Yeah, Mother and Miss Grudenko.
Mother.
So Johnny, then, who was it? Was it the producer that was the one choosing like what songs were like? Hey, everybody, give me a bunch of songs, and I'm going to choose the songs on the albums, or like how? What was the? How did it work?
I just watched a Behind the Music with the Police today. I'm not kidding.
No, we know. We just didn't know your name was Johnny.
That's fine. I'm not going to say anything.
Steve, we love you. It's all right, man.
All right. I'm going to watch Van Halen.
That's awesome.
That's brutal.
Well, hey, Steve, what did you watch? I want to hear this.
Yeah. I watched. I was watching Behind the Music. I think it's from VH1. It's called Behind the Music.
Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah, they cover the whole band for like an hour. Yeah. But they were saying for Synchronicity, that was like the cutoff where Sting came in with like 90% of the songs like done, like ready to go, and the other guys are like, well, wait a minute, what about us? But they were like, no, the producer goes, no way, man, listen to these. Like, listen, Every Breath You Take, are you kidding me? King of Pain, like all these songs. And it was like already 90% of the way there. And Stuart Copeland goes, well, at least I'm going to, replace the click track.
Oh, well, he knows at least he'll, he can say that he played on some big tunes, But actually, Andy Summers is the one that made Every Breath You Take.
Yeah.
When he added the guitar to that, it wasn't like that. The song was done. There was no guitar.
Yeah, it's that riff. That riff is his.
Oh yeah.
And hold on a second. That riff in Every Breath You Take doesn't Hysteria kind of is it Hysteria? What song off of the album Hysteria is kind of taken from that?
Yeah, Hysteria.
I think it's the song, right?
Yeah, it's not exact. It's
not exact, but they
lower.
got the influence for that whole thing from that part.
Yeah.
I never heard that, but it makes sense listening to that progression. I don't think
the band says it.
It's because it's not the riff, but you hear it within the song.
Yeah,
you can kind of hear that. Yeah.
Wait, Def Leppard's not original?
No, dude, during their that whole like classic albums thing for Hysteria, they talk about a bunch of stuff that the intro to that whole drum intro, they basically stole that from a different band.
And they mentioned it, Jay?
Right?
Yeah, they mentioned it. It was some band I never even heard of from like some other country.
From Way Cool Jr.
Is that what it was?
I don't know, but that's
rap.
I forget who it was, but they basically, one of the guys came in with it and showed Mutt Lange or whatever and was like, yo, let's do this. And they basically lifted the whole drum intro from this one song. And then like they admit that Mutt Lange's voice is like all those harmonies you hear, his voice is all over that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they admit it. That's one thing I give those guys in Def Leppard credit for. They will say what the truth is, where a lot of these bands nowadays, they'll kind of like, want to take all the credit, like, oh, I'm the one that came up with this, or I came up with that. And it's like, you didn't. You didn't. Why can't you give credit where credit's due?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I think with Def Leppard, I think that's one band where the producer was all over those recordings.
Big time.
I mean, he made all that stuff because, like I've said before, listen to the Shania Twain stuff or even that Loverboy track, and you'd swear it's Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when George Lynch on Tone Talk the other night. He was giving props to Eddie Van Halen left and right.
Oh yeah.
What was he saying?
Yeah.
Oh, he just said that and I heard. I didn't watch it. I'm kidding. I watched it.
I watched about a half hour of it.
He just said that like basically he described a few tricks that he did, and then he just admitted, yeah, I didn't create that. And he goes, it's Eddie's. Like it was like they all
just nonchalant, right?
Yeah, it's Eddie's. Yeah, no, it wasn't me. It was Eddie's. But it was interesting. But I feel bad for the guy because like it's almost like you're overtone centric, you know, like you just can't have a good night unless your amp sounds perfect, and that's what it sounded like in the interview. Like he like if his amp doesn't sound perfect, and he has like 50 heads in behind him, you know, like he's just constantly searching for the perfect sound.
He wants to bring his own equipment.
Yeah, he brings his own like really good equipment because like why wouldn't I want it? You know, but it's like it's almost like a crazy thing for me. Like it's got to be crazy making if you don't sound good on a certain night, and I'm sure we've all had that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like are you gonna just, you know, you still got to do a show, you know, so
yeah.
But it was interesting. I mean, the guy's been around. He's definitely top sounding guitar player from the era. So, you know.
Now let me ask every one of you guys. I mean, I know that not everybody's a Lynch fan or a Dokken fan, but most of the people I know that are guitar players, they prefer Dokken over Lynch Mob. I'm the exact opposite. I think the first two Lynch Mob records, especially the first one, blow anything with Dokken's name on it. That's my opinion. Anybody else?
I don't know, Jay. I don't know the music well enough, but okay. I'm going to look now. So that's good.
I've honestly never like listened to a Lynch Mob song.
Dude. Just
the first Lynch Mob. The first Lynch Mob album is killer.
It's phenomenal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
The songwriting,
the tone that he has in that album is ridiculous.
The sonically too, like the album sounds better than any Dokken record.
Yep, the tone. Yep.
Yeah, probably. I know the early Dokken stuff because that was the first concert I ever saw was the Monsters of Rock, and Dokken was on the bill. And yeah, I know that or even seeing the videos on that, like the guitar isn't sort of up front and center. It probably is with the Lynch Mob. Is that true, Jay? Do you think the guitar is more up front?
No, I think it sounds more like a band.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, obviously the guitar playing is a huge part of it, but I think like Oni Logan, who's the singer of the first Lynch Mob record, he blows Dokken away as a singer, I think. You know?
Yeah, Fender Guru, George was actually admitting the other night that nobody really had this pyrotechnic direction in their life until they saw Eddie Van Halen play. Like he shot them all into the stratosphere as far as, oh, okay, that's what he's doing. So people were copying off him from, you know, and that's why he was turning his back, you know, before they got signed.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen was playing his solos towards Alex.
Didn't Alex tell him that? Don't let anybody rip you off, man.
Exactly. And
because George was there in the beginning when Eddie and the guys were first playing all the clubs there in the Sunset Strip. Yeah, I'm quoting, right? He said something like, once everybody got wind of Eddie, it was, forget it, man. It's like a different world now.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone had to change their style to him, right?
How old is Lynch?
He's in his early 60s too, I think.
Yeah, they'd all be the same age. Yeah.
He still looks good too.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Jimi Hendrix went to play London for the first time, and there's that story where Townsend and Clapton are walking into the club, and out walks a disgusted Jeff Beck, like you know.
Now
like,
what?
Like, oh my God, what do we do now? You know.
Yeah, they say. Yeah, I've heard people say that about Hendrix too. It's like it's a new world. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think George described it as, he heard his name. He heard about this guy because George is from a different part of LA, and they heard about this guy, Van Heusen or whatever. Like, he didn't even really know his name.
Yeah, they didn't get the names right. Yeah,
but he heard there was like a legend before he saw it, and then when he saw it, he realized that the
game has changed.
The guy was on another planet, and they all had to step up because he was so far out ahead.
Yeah, I heard that from the drummer from Quiet Riot too. He said, "Oh, we're gonna go see this guy Van Halen," and the guy from Quiet Riot goes, "Van Halen? That sounds like a painter to me. What are we gonna go see?" And then they go to the whiskey, and the lineup is like around the block to see them, like in 1978 or whatever. And then he goes into the whiskey or whatever, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And so all those guys from that era. The Sunset Strip guys and that, they all sort of say the same thing. They were just sort of miles ahead of everybody, right?
Yeah. And they created their own following. I mean, they were like the first guys to, while you were inside at the Forum watching Zeppelin, the four guys were outside in the parking lot putting flyers on your car. They were like, Eddie Van Halen was putting his flyer on your car while you were inside in 1977 at the Forum watching Led Zeppelin play or the Who or something. The actual band was outside papering all the cars with their
and every time David Lee Roth would lift up your wiper blade, he'd go, "Ah!"
Oh wait, I gotta get the app. I gotta get the app now. Woo! Woo! Oh, God. That's so good.
Hey,
yeah, every time.
Hey Jay, how's that?
I'm putting the fire in your windshield wiper. Yes, I am.
All right.
Reach down between my legs, put a
They don't have that.
Put a wire on you.
All I've got, I had to steal.
Hey Jay, how's that rum cup working out for you? Jay, hello?
Oh,
there's your answer.
Empty.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about Jack White's EVH guitars, man? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a guitar crazy connoisseur, gets every pedal, loves all this boutique stuff, and all he wants is a Wolfgang because he saw the 3 pickup one with the blue hardware.
Really?
He thinks that's the coolest guitar he's ever seen in his life.
Cool.
What's so Caleb, that guitar, are like the tuners blue? Like what?
Everything. The pickups are metal plated or and they're blue, and the tuners. Every piece of metal on the guitar is blue except the frets, I think. Yeah. So
even is there a Floyd Rose on that one?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
One thing, he's touring now, and I've never seen him, and I love the white stripes. I've always liked Jack White, and I went online to buy tickets, and they're calling it a no camera cell phone show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Where you have to literally, when you go into the show, they're going to give you a bag that has a lock on it. You have to put your phone inside the bag.
Wow.
Lock it up, and then go. You take it with you, obviously, into the show. And then if you need to use the phone, you have to go back out to the lobby, and they'll open it up, and you can use the phone.
That's
awesome.
They're like, don't worry about it. They're pushing it as saying it's a complete audience to artist experience.
That's the
and
future.
Then if you want, you can go ahead and look at the photos that the professional photographer is going to take.
That's
but
the future.
You cannot. They are locking up everybody's phone for the show, for the concert.
That is awesome.
I like that idea.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that. The first time I heard of that idea.
Well, I mean, they're just getting tired of it. I think these artists are looking out at all these people that are just filming them instead of just looking at them. Yep. And it's just like, enough of this. This is crazy. You're all getting the same video. You know, you're looking through your devices.
Yeah, I'm going to show either way. I'll make a difference, but never seen him. He's literally right up. The place he's playing is like a 10-minute drive from where I live. So
cool. Yeah, I saw them.
Did you see White Striped or
yeah?
Oh man, I'd love to have seen them.
I saw them, although I didn't go to see them. I went to see, you know, the band called Garbage.
Yep.
Yeah. I went to see Garbage. This was in 2002. Went to see Garbage. This was down in Arizona, and White Stripes opened up.
Awesome.
And the next day, I went to the Best Buy and bought the White Stripes album. You know,
I have every one of their albums. I think one of my favorite bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
It's all good, Jay.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy.
Nah, it's good, man.
So Jay, when are you expecting your guitar? Next month?
It went from March 20th to the end of April.
Wow. Oh, what's the holdup? What's the explanation?
There's a delay. That's all. There's a delay.
Huh.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna make a stink out of it because I'm getting a new guitar. So it's like, you know.
Real quick, sorry.
Still playing this one.
Fender Guru. Yes, I do video concerts. I go to. I'm guilty of that. But do I think it looks stupid to have everyone down front holding up their phone?
Yeah,
I do.
Yes.
I think it's ridiculous. And
especially when I'm in the Cabo Wabo watching Sammy Hagar's birthday bash, and I'm in front of Michael Anthony, and some girl's right in front of me holding her phone up. I just want to swat the thing out of my way.
No, it's you know, the world has gone crazy. I mean, you go to a restaurant, and every families are sitting there. They're all looking at their phone.
Yeah. We're supposed to have a conversation at dinner, but we're all going to look at our phones.
You know, people are walking down the street in front of your car, looking at their phones, like literally putting all the trust in you to stop your car.
Yeah.
So just imagine if you're looking at your phone at that time. It's like
that happened.
I saw Buddy Guy this past Wednesday, and I was videotaping him.
Yeah. So the future is, and I said this years ago, it's good. Cell phones are gonna be like cigarettes. People are gonna quit. People are just going to be you're going to look at someone and go, "Oh, you're a non-phoner," like literally, like because they want to get back to where they are, because with the phone you're always somewhere else. You're never where you are. You're always somewhere else. And I think that's what's changed the most with the phone. There's my little rant. Thank you.
Well, everything else goes back to retro, so why not?
Why not, right?
Us, you know. We're talking about Johnny. We were talking earlier about the Polaroids and stuff, and that type of thing. So, you know, I was actually thinking recently about getting an old flip phone, with just basically just texting.
You almost can't get that anymore, though. The flip phone.
No,
I was one of the last guys to convert. I finally had to get a regular phone.
But you can't text on those things though either.
No, you got to do the whole like.
Maybe the new ones, maybe they have a keyboard now where you can where it's easier to do it.
Yeah, but remember the old ones was basically, you know, you have the numbers in front of you.
You'd have to hit 2 like 3 times to hit C.
Yeah. What'd they call that? It was a name for that. Like,
and it was funny. You'd walk up to a girl and you'd see her texting.
Here's mine. This is mine.
There you go.
This was my phone 10 years ago.
I had that.
Yeah, and it looked like that.
Yeah.
So with those,
the camera sucked. This was my first camera. I actually, if I could charge this thing up, my screen here is actually Andy Summers, a picture I took on this at the Police concert 10 years ago.
Really?
You know, and
Cool.
It went from candles, or not candles. It went from holding a lighter out at a concert to a cell phone. You know?
Yeah.
Hello.
No, I've had things where people are. I mean, I had a horrible experience. I went to the Tom Petty show, his second to last concert of his life.
Wow.
10 days before he died at the Hollywood Bowl, and there's a chick standing up in front of me, sideways, looking away from the concert, just looking at her phone and scrolling and texting, standing up.
Yeah, no, I had
and
that.
It led to like a full-scale altercation.
Really?
Where we got upgraded, we got moved away because this chick freaked out on me, you know, and it was awful. It was awful. She was the only one standing up in the whole section, and she's just standing there looking at her phone. And I told her, if you're gonna text, you know, could you maybe sit down? She's like, you're telling me to sit down at a concert? I'm like, you're not even watching the concert. And then we got into this thing, and before you know it, like, oh my God. And then like strange dudes were trying to come to her aid and stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's when it's like, you know, you sit down, you know, like stay out of it. And it was just getting ugly. And I was like, I just want to enjoy this show. It might be his last show.
Meanwhile, it's the second to last. This might be his second to last show, guys.
Exactly.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
And I am too. I left that night. I saw, by the way, I saw his demeanor. And I told my wife, I told people, I was like, there's something wrong with him.
Really?
I did, for sure.
Wow.
You're the harvester of sorrow. When you left the Van Halen show on the last tour, you were like, this is it. And then when you leave Tom Petty's second to the last show, he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
He's gonna die. I don't know. Just intuition. I don't know.
I had the same thing.
I survived meeting you at NAMM, so.
Yeah. Well, I did tell Johnny about that thing about you afterwards.
Uh-oh. What's gonna happen, Johnny?
Last name.
He said he'll ask you a question and Steve will answer.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You know, I told Johnny that Michael's boat was going to sink while he was live on air, and
hey, you know, some people don't even answer to their own name. Steve answers to everybody's name. All right.
Awesome. No, but I do think there will be a future without people not using cell phones, and they'll be proud of it. I mean, you remember we used to know all of our phone numbers in our head?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you know any phone numbers now?
No.
They're in your phone.
Well,
right?
think of music, right? Do you know any like albums over the past 10 years, like song titles? Oh, track 7's awesome. That's how I mean, right. I don't know any song names anymore.
Oh,
how about kids now? Kids now, they don't know what block they're on because all their knowledge of topography is in their phone. We didn't have that. We had to remember where we were.
Yep. Or take the old-fashioned map out.
Right, but you remembered because you knew
the neighborhood. No doubt about it. Now,
right.
Turn left, turn right.
Now, yeah, they put all their trust in that device, and that's where they store all their knowledge of topography. They don't have to commit it to memory, just like we don't have to commit telephone numbers or anything like that. So it's crazy.
No.
You were going to say something, Johnny. I saw it in your face.
Just now. Steve, what was I going to say?
Just say, are we good?
No, we're not good at all.
No.
Oh man.
Steve's like, no.
Well, I think before the GPS, I think, you know, after the computers, when you were printing out MapQuest directions, you'd drive and then you'd have to look and drive and know. I hated that. Even though you had the directions, it was terrible.
Yeah, because you're flipping pages.
Yeah, you'd staple it, flipping pages.
And you had the map version and then the list version. Mm-hmm. You know, like I got to look at the map and now I got to look at the list.
I would always memorize. I would read it, and then at a stoplight, I'd pick it up and read, okay, turn left on whatever. And then I'd memorize that, and then you'd have to memorize each turn.
When I was on...
Did MapQuest ever screw up for you?
Maybe.
Did you drive into a reservoir or anything like that?
No, I don't mean that. Back in, it might have been like 2001 or 2. Yeah, somewhere around there. We were getting CDs printed in Pennsylvania, right? So, you know, usually it was like a what was the CD pressing company?
Disc makers?
There was Disc Makers, and then there was this other company in Pennsylvania, right? So I called them up, and they were slightly cheaper, and they can get them done ahead of time, but they wouldn't be delivered until after our CD release party, you know, because we were so cool. So we drove down to get them to Pennsylvania, right? So I printed out the directions. It was like I don't know if it was a 4-hour trip or whatever the hell it was. And after a while, on the main highway, it was telling me to get off, like on the exit ramp, get off the highway, and then get right back on. On MapQuest. So literally for like, and I was never good with directions as it is, but I'm like following these things, and I got my other guitar player with me, like, you know, navigating, who he was a complete moron, so he didn't know what the hell was going on anyway. He's like, okay, you got to get off on exit 16. And we're getting off. 17. Okay, now get back on. I'm like, what is going on here? We're getting off every exit and getting back on the highway, and MapQuest is telling us to do this. Yep. Crazy.
You know what was the worst? Where you would use MapQuest, you'd print it out, you'd get to where you were going, and if you didn't print out the directions to go back,
you have to go backwards.
You'd have to look at it and read it backwards. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. It was all bad. MapQuest just sucked, man. Even though it helped. It wasn't.
I remember on the Tonic van tours, every state we pulled into, we had to go get a map. Like we had to go to the gas station and get like a map of that state. You know, like because they sold individual state maps.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like a big book of all the roads in the cities everywhere. So, and we needed roads in the cities to find where we were going. But that, like, now it's like in your phone. Remember who bought like a Garmin for like $400 and then 2 weeks later there's a nav in your smartphone for nothing?
Yeah.
Remember that?
I had the TomTom Go was what I had.
Yeah. TomTom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like
TomTom. And next thing you know, it's like a few months later.
It's in your
phone. Pay for the update. Like what?
Right.
You'd have to get an update. And what we would do is we would get these. We actually did this on the Mayfire tour. 10 years ago. One of the tours was we would use my TomTom Go, but we would download from the internet. There you go, Steve. We would download from the internet like all these crazy other voices to use.
Like Knight Rider or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Our favorite voice to use was Mike Myers, the character.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Oh,
we would have Austin Powers' voice for
turn, baby.
Yeah. That's every step of the way was that.
Oh man. Who said that?
Michael Smith.
Oh, that was good, dude. That was good.
It's like, which way do I go now?
I'll tell you all about it.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh man. Yeah, Mark Taylor, you see what Mark Taylor wrote? He wrote, "What do we do with all the brain space we used to use for storing phone numbers?"
Fill it up with booze.
Poof.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gone. I think our brains are shrinking. Because I'm not the smartest man in the world.
What are you talking about?
But I used to be a really good speller in school. Really good speller.
I'm a good editor.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Very proud of you. Love that.
But
Jerky
I used to be a really good speller, and now I can't spell a damn thing. I think
all you gotta do is hit that one magic button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to start typing something and it's right there. I think it's the same thing with directions where, you know, we don't have to like memorize anything anymore. Everything's right there in front of us. And I think as the Trailer Park Boys would say, our brain compartment is shrinking where the technology is just, it's making our brain shrink.
We're just the power outage away from all being the stupidest people.
Could you imagine if there was
EMP?
Yeah, EMP or something. We'd be screwed.
We're
We
done.
don't know how to get to the food store.
Nope.
Could you imagine asking for stickers and saying, "Hey, do you got any decals?"
Oh my God.
Imagine a total power outage just for like 5 hours.
Dude.
Just complete chaos.
That happens. Michael, do you remember when I do you remember when I was out of power for like 2 days?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking the entire country though.
Or the
We'll throw
entire
Canada in
world.
too. See.
Yep. They should.
Hold on. What do humans being do? What do human beings? I'm saying like a Van Halen song. Humans beings. Yeah. What do human beings do though when they have no electricity?
They
The
inherit.
population goes up.
They inherit the wind.
Yeah, the population goes up and quick. So.
So, Michael, what's new with you guitar-wise? You got any new guitars or building anything? What's happening?
No, I'm actually, like I was saying earlier, I'm thinking of building something. I sent back the Chapman guitar last time I was talking to you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I sent it back.
What was the issue? I saw the Facebook post about the logo or something, or the back of the neck, or the back of the headstock.
That was just. I mean, that wasn't a big deal. I mean, it's supposed to say FRET. It said free, so fret, right? The case was just not even close to being anything quality, to be honest with you. The padding on the bottom was lacking. So every time you closed it, the headstock would bang and the guitar would pop up. Okay.
Whoa. Say that again. Explain.
What brand was it?
The case on the bottom. So the bottom of the body, right? It didn't have enough padding in it. So every time I closed the case, it was angled like this. So when I closed it, it would bang the headstock and push the guitar up like that.
That's not good.
Also, there's supposed to be kind of like high output pickups. I had a really high squeal, just a squeal. And I have a lot of guitars and you know, with high amps and stuff like that, high output amps. I didn't get that. So I'm guessing that they kind of didn't put enough wax on the pickups. I mean, just for a guitar at that price, you know, over $1,000, you'd think that the quality control would be a lot better than that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just went ahead and just sent it back.
Huh?
Did they ask if what was the issue?
I told them everything I just told you, and I had no issue at all as far as they paid for the return shipping, and they gave me my Rift City.
Okay.
Yep. They gave me all my money back, and you know, I can't speak it higher. They were great. They were spot on. They did everything the right way. But I mean, and I loved the guitar. I mean, it sounded good. I liked the way it felt, but just the quality control for something that I was paying that amount of money, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I just couldn't justify keeping it.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're, you know, people nowadays think like, I mean, I'm from the old school of like, you're paying $1,000 for a guitar. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of money, man. I mean, you know, I ain't rich by any stretch. You know, I mean, and I was hoping I really wanted to love that guitar because I love the way it felt and everything, but there was just too many negatives. I mean, you know.
No, but when you're paying that brings me back to my point. When you're paying that much, it's got to be perfect. You know.
Yeah.
What do you want to build?
There you go.
I'm still thinking about that, Caleb. I really don't know.
What's your favorite guitar that's
Again?
out there? What's your favorite guitar that your favorite guitar player plays?
Well, it's going to be Eddie Van Halen, and I'm leaning towards the 5150.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you be interested in building your own and painting it, or would it be one of those things where you'd like somebody else to do it?
I want to do it all on my own.
So
Yeah,
do it,
do it.
I
man.
just want the challenge. Yeah.
So Steve and Caleb, what would it
Yeah.
cost if you were going to do everything yourself?
$2,000.
That much? I thought it was a little cheaper than that.
I think it's around 15, 14. You can get away
Yeah, but
from it.
if you want to get the right parts,
I want the right part, Steve.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you want
starts-
the whale tail?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to
'Cause
go that
I
far,
wouldn't really. That wouldn't be a huge issue with me as far as
No,
the.
no,
I mean, I would take an '84 Floyd.
yeah.
You know, I wouldn't care about it. Now, Caleb, did you get your neck with stainless steel frets or no?
Yes, stainless steel vintage. Yep,
And
it's
Jay,
good.
you're never
We're
going
gonna
back.
we're gonna
No.
fly.
You would
We're
never
gonna fly.
Never going back, man.
Nope.
I'm never going back. You know what's funny? I want one of those. I was looking. Charvel makes those San Dimas guitars.
Yes,
They have like the hot pink and the hot red and stuff like that.
I have a sunburst one.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Does it have the this little bad boy? The whole.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll get it.
Yeah, show me that. I almost swore. So anyway, I was interested in possibly getting one of those, you know, but the fact of number one, they're not stainless frets and they're jumbo.
Oof.
I can't do it anymore. I cannot do jumbo frets anymore.
No, I think I realized it at the NAMM show when I played the USA, and then I played the Mexican ones, the standards, or the specials. And although the specials felt really good, but like I said, that was the NAMM show version of the special.
Yeah, the best
So-
they're gonna put out
So
there.
they had it set up so sweet, and but that USA Wolfgang neck felt so good, and they're stainless vintage,
Yeah.
and you can just fly on those. It's just there's no doubt about it, about the difference in the feel, and your fingers just can relax a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Steve, say
Yeah,
something.
this is it, Jay. This is a Charvel San Dimas tobacco sunburst. This isn't chrome or black. It's like a nickel
Yeah.
Floyd rose sort of shading on it.
Can you put that a
there-
little closer there, Steve? The
Yeah, sorry.
bridge?
Here's the head. Here's the headstock. Charvel San Dimas. I'm going to say this is probably 2 or 3 years old. Probably 2. And yeah, tobacco sunburst. It's got a nice quilt on it. I'd say similar to like the PV Wolfgangs that had a tobacco sunburst. Very similar. And I was more. I always liked this straight up sort of Strat look on guitars, so that's why I never got attached to the Ernie Ball or the PV Wolfgangs. That was just a personal thing with me. Nothing against Eddie. I love him and all the music he's done. But as far as guitars that I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on, I'm going to get what I like. So yeah,
what about the pickups?
59s.
yeah. These are
And they're mounted direct, right?
yes, yeah. These are direct. Both of them are
Nice.
direct. The only thing about it is this is a floating bridge, right? Even Ibanez guitars I have or the Fender Strats I have, you know, it's sort of cut out the groove for the Floyd at the back here, and it's sort of floating. So FU tone, you can get the block stopper would be an addition to this. But yeah, since knowing Johnny and being on the show for last year and a bit, you know, the world's changed. If the Floyd isn't sitting flat on the body and diving forward, I'm not interested. So that's why I do builds only now. So a lot of these guitars are sort of being retired and being
Jay,
sold.
you should do a build, because then you can get your frets the way you want them.
Yeah,
Man.
we're trying, man. We're trying to get Jay Hannon to.
I'll botch it. I'd rather have somebody else do it for me.
Well, no, it's not like I'm putting these guitars together and wiring them. I'm just ordering all the parts, and
yeah,
you know, I'm doing what I can. But when it comes down to you know, setting up and soldering and making sure that neck is right, that ain't going to be my job. So
Yeah, so Caleb, tell me what you're doing as far as putting it together. Like I said, I'm still on the fence. I don't know what I want to do. I just know I want to do some kind of a build. What are you doing as far as the work that you're doing, and then what are you outsourcing? I guess
first I ordered the body.
Yep.
And that's what I started with. So just a piece of wood, and then I went and got the paint.
And where'd you order the body from?
From K&E Guitars, which
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody put a strap on a guitar that doesn't have a neck on it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've never used these dog clasps, so I wanted to make sure that they worked.
You gotta take a photo of you with you holding it like with no neck.
Oh, I bet he stood in the mirror with that thing.
Oh, you gotta follow my Instagram because I already did that.
Naked.
Naked, yeah. But no, I got the guitar, the body from K&E Guitars. It's out here in Oxnard. They make Pacer bodies, and you know, I'm on a budget, so it was like $100 cheaper than the Musicraft body. So
that's what I'm holding here, Michael. Like, I never thought I was going to build one of these. I've been waiting 30 years to have one of these. And until Johnny's show, Musicraft body, Musicraft neck. I mean, I had the vision in my head of what to do. I listened to what everyone had to say. And same as Caleb, picking up the parts I need to build the thing. It's not like I put the frets on this, you know, the fretboard. Musicraft does it. You order what you want.
Imagine you had to do all that. Imagine you had to put all the frets in.
No, that's what I'm getting at, though. I sort of sat there. I need a body. I need the neck. They're already drilling the holes in the body and the neck for it to fit. All I got to do is get a bunch of parts. I already have.
The most fun part is the painting. So
can you get the neck with this?
Yeah.
In there?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know some people are like, oh, that's not official, but you know what? I like that. So when you guys see my 5150 in 17 years, when I finally get it, it'll have that, and then I'll get made fun of for it. But that's fine.
Yeah, I believe you can get that. But what was I saying? The most fun part is painting, by far, for me, with any of these guitars.
And you're doing the painting, right, Caleb?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's a challenge. The whole striping.
I want the challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the striping part was definitely a challenge, and I didn't get it perfect, and I'm, you know, I look at it sometimes, but it's mine, and you know, it literally took me like 3.5 hours to put every strip of tape down right to where I was okay with it, you know, and I was looking at a picture on my phone of his guitar. And just finding each end of where that tape rested, and I was doing it that way. And you know, there's little things cheats that give you the size of the tape width and stuff, so you know what to do and stuff. And away you go. You spray it white, then you put the tape on, and then you lay down the base, the main color. You peel the tape. You hope to God nothing ran, and you know, then you do the black stripes at the end, and it's done. It could take a day, or you know, a full day. It's done.
Is this the first one that you did painting?
Yes.
No, it's the first. It's the second stripe one that I've done.
Second. And that's the first one you did, Steve, right?
Yes. I did 2 coats.
I should have answered right.
That was awesome. That was my favorite part of the show ever.
Everybody, answer quick.
Just that.
This is the first one I ever striped, which is.
Oh, I could tell. No, I'm joking.
No,
it's good. No, it's good. It's good.
It's a piece, you know.
No, it's. I mean, I'm different than you guys. I want it to show up in a box.
You want it in a box.
And I want to open it up and say, yeah, man, that's it. You know,
I just want to try it. You know, I mean, I'll probably screw it up, but I don't
No,
care.
you won't. No, you won't.
No.
Michael, it's not as hard as you think.
And plus, you could always start over. You can always get out the.
It's funny you say that because somebody on one of those Johnny, one of those VH pages that we belong to, somebody, I think they did the red with the white stripes before they did the black. They're like, you know what? I'm starting over. I screwed something up, and they started from scratch.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael. So one of the main things for me, like I looked at a photo with Eddie holding it kind of like this. So like I take like a ruler on the body, and as I'm looking at a photo, and I go, okay, is this the right spot? And I'd move it a little left, a little right, and then I'd put the tape down, and sometimes I'd turn the body like this, and I'd always look at all these little squares that form, and I was like, okay, it has to be a little bit more left. I kind of measure on the photo and look at mine. No, that's not quite right, and I'd go back and I'd start again, another line, and then I'd look at it side. No, not quite right. Readjust. So. That was what Caleb was saying, that challenge of getting the angles right. It's not like I was pulling out a construction square to figure it out. I liked the fact that it's me doing it. And if there was a little run of paint under the tape or whatever, so what? It's my build, and that's what makes it sort of personal. But definitely with the tape, you want to push down as hard as you can, left and right on every stripe.
And keep doing it. And keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because some things want to peel. It's just weather.
Yeah, and then like Caleb was saying, as soon as you start peeling off like the first piece of tape, it's like so exciting. You get like I got goosebumps.
This
is awesome.
Your belt.
Yeah, this is the back of mine. Yeah.
Back looks good.
So neither one of you guys are going to relic?
No.
So that's what I want done.
Yeah.
I want.
Steve should have just said no twice.
Right.
No, I kind of shared it with Alex Zipkin actually when he got his EVH 5150 about relicing and all this. I kind of said, you know what?
Oh,
like I've already made marks on this thing myself. There's already little gouges in it that Eddie's doesn't have. It's my guitar. I'm going to be playing this thing, and the marks are from me, and I know how they happened. It's
Steve. Here's what you have to do with that guitar. Take the 5s off. And put S's for Steve.
Yeah, right.
The Stevie one Steve-O or something.
The Stevie one Steve-O.
So like, yeah. So like,
that's pretty good.
Like Caleb's done, he had the 50 or the Hot for Teacher. Now he's doing a 5150. So for me, the next one I'm going to have, like I have a personal build. I'm doing a green body that I'm getting from music. But next I'm going to do the 1984 with like the same headstock as this, but with like 2 stars. The 1984, like Johnny has a 1984. I want to have another one like this that I built. So I'm just sort of alternating.
So that would be your order as far as like Eddie's guitars.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a Kramer 1984, and that's kind of it for me. I just want 2 of them.
You're not going Hot for Teacher?
No, it'll be the 1984. That's my next favorite one. I like the striping pattern on that, and I like the.
Where's the Frankenstein in your heart as far as order of Eddie's guitars? See, for me, it would be 5150, then Frankenstein. That would,
Yeah, not for me, because the 5150 tour, like the 1984 guitar was played, but in the 5150 tour, it was black hardware. Like, I don't like it that way. I like it on the 1984 tour where it's chrome and it has, I like the 2-star idea on the headstock. So that's the next build Eddie-wise I'm going to do is the 1984 one, but from the 84 tour. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would think the Frankenstein would be like one of the absolute hardest to do, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be satisfied because there's so much perfect relicing to be done on that.
Yeah.
To have a clean looking Frankenstein just wouldn't look good.
See, I'm going to be honest with you guys.
He's going to pay $25,000 for it.
That's
no.
I'll sell 10 guitars and go buy one of those.
But in my opinion, this is my opinion alone, I think a clean 5150 guitar doesn't have the same
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. I hate saying that word, but it works. I mean, for this,
I never say it. I never say it.
Me neither. Me neither. But
no, and I appreciate that, Jay. I understand it, but I do like the idea of me playing this, and a year from now, this isn't going to look the same. It's going to get my own wear.
Yeah, well, that's great, but I mean, just in my opinion, that's just I'm just saying this is me feeling like when I open that case, if I ever get one made, I want to open that case and be like, I have Eddie's 1986 Kramer in front of me. You know what I mean? That's how I want to look at it.
I understand it, but for me, because I did this, like for me, this is awesome. And I don't
just know personally I wouldn't be able to do that, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, no. Steve has Eddie's February 1984 guitar.
Yeah,
when it was handed to him new.
Then you got to take those stickers off.
He put the stickers on it.
With the stickers put. I'll get the photo. Hold on.
Take them off.
He'll get the poster out of his.
It's after Jacksonville.
His wallet.
Here it is.
After Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is the Kramer 5150 with no stickers on it, and it looks pretty damn new. And through touring, wear and tear, that's how the fading happens.
Those stickers off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you got to take them off. I'm just busting your balls, man.
You got to put the wood tray table on it.
Yeah, right. Drill the holes for it at least, you know. No, but I mean, I respect the fact that you guys are making those your own. You know? And that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to do a red one because everyone's got one. So,
well, somebody might think you're ripping them off by doing that, but that's retarded.
No, I mean, you know, I'm planning on using this for gigging.
Well, I don't feel that way.
You know, and I just didn't want a red one. It's weird. I feel like that's too close to the genuine article, but I love the stripe scheme. It's all about the stripes and not necessarily the color. You know, if that makes any sense. But I do love the Bumblebee. I think the Bumblebee is the most striking looking one of all of them. You know, like that's for me, that's the coolest of all his guitars.
So you don't feel like when he made that comment saying that the reason I stopped playing the Bumblebee is because I didn't like it type of thing? Like it didn't feel good?
I didn't even, I mean, I think I've heard him say it, but it never bothered me. I always thought when I saw that guitar on the back of Van Halen 2, I was like, that is the baddest looking machine I've ever seen, and I still feel that way when I look at those pictures. I'm like, look at that thing.
Yeah, because I waited. I didn't buy a Music Man. I didn't buy a PV Wolfgang. All of a sudden, the Charvel EVH Art Series. I remember a little poster came out with all three of the color schemes. I instantly went to the black with the yellow striped one. I said, I gotta have one of those. And
well, it's the closest true to form of all of them. So.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So you never saw the Bumblebee relict.
Not really, you know.
3 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
Awesome.
And I barely heard Johnny say 10 words.
I know.
It's like Johnny's waiting for us all to mess up or something.
He's waiting for us all to leave so he can.
He said something 2 hours ago when we were talking about the police.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But by the way, 2 hours ago, somebody asked me what's my favorite Police record.
2 hours ago.
And
that's the question.
Yeah. I like them all, but I really like
Regatta LeBlanc.
Regatta LeBlanc. Yeah,
yep.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
That has Walking on the Moon on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mad Dog wants to make a 5150 mostly white with red and black stripes.
Interesting. So the red stripes would be the white stripes?
Yeah. Or anything red would be white. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I think the reason why I'm not a, I mean, of course I'm a fan of all his guitars, but I guess, you know, because the Frankenstein is the Van Halen 1 guitar. But I think the reason why I prefer the Frankie over.
Wait, the red one or the black or the white one? Because there's two versions. Are you talking about the white one with the black stripes?
Van Halen, the white one, the black stripes turned in. That's the one he painted to make the Frankenstein.
So,
but
so I'm saying which one do you?
Out of those, like the same guitar, but I like the red.
Right.
I like the Frankenstein version of it because guitars just look better with a Floyd Rose, you know. And seeing the Van Halen 1 stuff with just the Strat Floyd, it just doesn't have that same, you know.
Right. But
Hey Jay, what neck would you want on it in headstock? Because it's had like every year had a different.
God. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really.
I like the Kramer beak.
Huh?
I like the beak from the US Festival, the Jump video. I think that's the best look that guitar had.
I think during Women and Children First or the second tour, it had the one off the Bumblebee with the black headstock, like a Charvel headstock.
That was Van Halen 2 tour.
Yeah.
The beginning. Yeah. When he first painted it red, he had that black headstock.
Wait a minute, I got the photo. Hold on.
So I think that's a huge. Well, that's part of the reason why the 5150 is my favorite is because. Oh wow! Yeah, look at that
right here. This is the Frankie with the black headstock. Yeah.
No Floyd yet.
Somebody told me that this is like the first show when he painted it red.
Yeah.
Well, that's a total promo shot right there, you know.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I gotta get those pants. Forget the guitar. I gotta get those pants. But I think the 5150. When you think about it, like for the most part, that guitar has been that guitar until he swapped the pickup out, broke the headstock, but. He used that guitar for a long time.
Yeah, 84 right
84
through
to 90. Yeah.
Yeah, and he even used it on Judgment Day. Yep. So. But anyway.
So Michael, have you made any decisions of what, as far as building a 5150, what company you might go for as far as building one? Or
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'm literally just starting to put my toe in the water, if you will.
Yeah, because just so you know, Michael, I still have the exact order sheet of the body and neck that built this. It's a Musicraft Kramer Poplar body. It's a maple banana headstock neck. This came, all natural wood in the beginning, and I got Schwinn exact factory match bike paint, white, black, and sunset orange. A lot of guys will try to sell you on this Duplicolor red orange paint.
You mean Dave
it's a little bit darker, to be honest with you, and I'm not going to mess around. If I've been looking at this guitar for 30-something years, I'm getting the real thing, right? So, and that's from a company called cooleststuff.com is where you get the paint from. Yeah,
but I'll be guys for this definitely.
Yeah. I did it for one of the guys in the chat. His name's Connor Johnson. He sends me an email like every other day about what to do as far as the body, the neck, and now he's been, he went to Home Depot to get the paint, the tape to stripe the guitar, and they had like no sizes of what he needs. And I said, well, no, you got to get like 3M tape off of eBay to get all the right sizes, right? There's 5 different sizes of tape you need to do it exact. And so it's that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of hunting to get all the right stuff for this build.
You gotta do it. You gotta get the right stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I want to pay somebody to do it for me.
Yeah, right.
It'll probably be cheaper, Jay, to have somebody do it for me, but I just want the challenge,
Yeah. No, and that's the whole key right there. Is if you want the challenge to do it, that's half the battle. So for me, like even like this Floyd is going to be replaced. This is a 1984 reissue that I'm going to put on my Charvel Bumblebee guitar because I have a whale tail Floyd Rose, which is the style that Eddie originally had on his. So that's going to be on here. And then the R2 locking nut up here. This isn't just what goes with the 84. These are actually, I paid a couple $100 to get, they're called humpback saddles on the R2 nut. That's actually what Eddie's had on his. So there's a lot of fine tuning stuff part-wise for me to get this as exact as I can. And even this string retainer up here, it's actually completely circular. When you get like this 84 Floyd, it's kind of flat, this retainer on the top. So I'm just going for accuracy. So off of Kramer Pacer parts that I get from early 80s, that's where I get all these little parts that are originally, on Eddie's. I'm trying to get it as close as I can. So I'm really.
You get those parts on eBay, or where would you get
yes.
something like that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, on eBay. I have it's called a search, right? So every morning, if anything comes up,
It'll pop up.
Yeah, it comes up, and then I usually ring the register if it's something I need, right? Yeah.
Hey, have we been ignoring the chat for a long time? Because I'm reading some stuff. Spanky McAllister says, I still have a can of Schwinn Sunset Orange paint in my garage.
There you go.
He said he painted his bike in 1976 before I ever heard of VVH. Dude, you could probably get, aren't cans of that going for like over $100?
Wow.
Wow, selling old paint. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Imagine that.
41-year-old paint.
Vintage paint.
Vintage paint.
This is the Sunset Orange from cooleststuff.com. It's called Coolest Colors. So Stingray was the type of Schwinn bike back then in the 70s. And this is exact factory match paint that painted, my 5150 build. So from this Coolest Colors, I got the white, black, and the Sunset Orange. Good stuff. Someone, I think Fender Guru, wanted to see my Bumblebee. So this is the Charvel EVH Bumblebee from probably 2004. There's the headstock Charvel. The sticker at the tip there is the EVH Art Series. And the only replacement I did, Jay Hannon didn't mind this, but because my guitar, the original strap buttons, like it actually kind of wore loose and just kind of fell out. So I did do an upgrade with the Home Depot No. 6 screw eye bolts. But Jay was happy. Yeah, he still claps about it.
It looks more legit, man.
That's the only upgrade I did. This is a very expensive guitar for me up in Canada. This is like $3,500 for me to get one of these back then.
Damn.
What?
Yeah. These are very
expensive. When they first came out, they were a lot of money.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these are a lot of bucks, guys. Awesome. Sounds
the
great.
The neck on that, I've said before, is my favorite neck of all the EVH stuff. It's just
really,
it's sick.
So this is so Michael, just so you know, this is an R2 nut, 1 5/8 at the nut. The R2, the EVH Stripe series guitars are an R3, so it's a little bit wider up here. Like we call them the country chords at the 2nd fret. When you're sort of strumming country type stuff, it's a bit wider, so the neck's a bit wider. But so for me, I'm an R2 guy, and they bring up the Crop Circles guitar and any of the EVH branded stuff. It's a bit wider at the neck, but for me, this is I don't know if you guys can see the wear at all on this neck, but I play this thing a lot. And
you see the back of the neck?
Sorry, me?
The back of the neck?
Yeah, this is the back. I don't know if it shows anything or not, but I guess one of the downsides to these, and Caleb didn't even realize it when I told him, but most Floyd Roses sort of have a couple screws in the back of the neck to get the nut in place, but these ones don't. So
what's it say in the back of the neck there? I see a lot of writing there.
Oh, it just says
it's the headstock licensing by Fender.
Yeah, the guitar. Yeah, I'll just read it. The guitar headstock is the registered trademark of Fender Musical Instruments Corporation and is being used with the express permission from the FMIC, Fender Musical Instruments Company, I guess. Yeah.
And it should say, by the way, we own Charvel. So.
Yeah, but this is a real favorite of mine. This is serial number 544. So this is a first year of these. This was automatic. As soon as I saw it, pretty much, within the same month, I was like, "Oh, get me one of those!" Right? Even though the guy at the guitar shop was trying to sell me a black PV, a Wolfgang, but I said no, I want one of these. Yeah.
Did you slap him when you said it?
Yeah.
Slapped it.
So the only thing, Michael, other details like this Floyd Rose, it's a real German Floyd, but it does have the sort of trem arm that installs from the top. It sort of screws in, but the 84 Floyd one, it's lower to the body. That's on the Kramer build I did. So that one's going to replace this one when I get the whale tail on the Kramer 5150, just because I'm not a big fan of these ones that screw in, because they're actually higher off the body and my hand hits it when I play. It's just a thing I learned on this show. The arms back in the early 80s were like lower to the body, so it's actually doesn't get in my way. So just little
things like that.
Yeah, just little geeky things, but I don't care. I'm on a hunt. I'm on the hunt for this stuff, and I really dig being all part of all this. So yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Caleb, when's the neck coming in?
Oh, I don't need it. I don't know. They said it's been 3 weeks, and they said 4 to 6. So I'm waiting.
But he'll wait till his neck comes in.
That's right. Yes. Good morning, Simon.
So I don't know if you guys, if I showed this a bit on the earlier show. This is one of my favorite photos of Eddie. This is from Guitar World, July 1988.
Morning, Simon.
And here's the cover. This was the cover of Guitar World, July 88. And so yeah, this photo's been framed in my den for like 30 years. It's been sitting there. And then just a couple days ago, I got this book called Ultimate Star Guitars, and that photo I've had framed for 30 years. I now have a photo that's even sort of more expanded than the one I've had framed for 30 years. So this is kind of fandom kicking in. I'm super excited. I have a photo now of this sort of wider than normal. So I'm just going to go to it here. Yeah, so here it is here. It's way more clear too. And if you see it here, you see on the corner there's actually a Heineken and an ashtray on the corner, the bottom corner there.
Mm-hmm. Hold it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then say, yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it now, Johnny?
No.
Didn't go anywhere without a Heineken and an ashtray.
Yeah, Heineken and ashtray in the corner of the photo. You can see the backdrop was brought in or whatever, but this is sort of a wider shot of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. Good night, Charlie.
Charlie.
Night, Charlie.
Are we good?
Speaking of good night.
We good? We good?
Are we good?
I think I'm getting to be good.
Yeah.
Getting to be good.
Well, I'm yes.
Yeah.
Kudos to Jay, man. Sticking it out.
Yo, yeah, exactly.
3:20 in the morning. South Carolina.
Still rocking.
Yeah, in 6 hours.
You got to do what in 6 hours?
That's because of those little mugs you sent them, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Nah, in 6 hours. That's fun.
Yeah, Fender Guru. There's no posters above my bed. Fender Guru keeps asking me that.
Huh? What? You have a mirror above your bed?
No, Fender Guru keeps asking me what posters above my bed. I don't have a poster above my bed.
You have a water bed?
I did in 1984.
Wow.
It was one of those things like if your power went out, like when you filled, my parents had a water bed.
Yeah.
And when they filled it, you had to let it warm up before you slept in it. Otherwise, you'd get hypothermia. You can't sleep in a water bed with cold water because it takes the warmth out of your body.
Not good.
No, it's true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it.
I'll tell you all about it.
That's perfect.
There's a guy in the chat named ET5150. He says he's south of the equator. Is he in the South America?
Well,
it could be in what?
India? Africa?
Yeah.
Australia?
Well, just ask him. Ask him where he is.
Yeah,
Where are you from, ET?
6:21 p.m. He's saying.
Wow.
And that'd be tomorrow.
I'll tell you all about it.
Well,
So it's 6.
We're tomorrow now. Yeah.
Well, it's 6 in the afternoon, Saturday.
He's in South Africa.
Australia.
Australia. Cool, man.
Nice.
Wait, so it's Monday.
And Fender Guru, he's in New Zealand. So they're like neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be neighbors with Fender Guru in about 10 years.
Mad Dog says, don't hear from Johnny for an hour. And when we do, it's a wisecrack.
I'll tell you all about it.
Well, I'll tell you all about it. That's all I can fit in.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. So
John BL
5150 sent you a picture, Johnny.
A pick?
Check your phone.
He sent you a pick.
okay, let's see.
A dicture.
So, hey, Michael, yeah.
I've never heard that one before, by the way.
That's
I
good.
made that up.
I like that.
So,
That'll
Michael,
work.
yeah, the Van Halen store doesn't have the clasps and screw eye bolts yet. But when they do, well, I'll make sure I'll get you the hoodie and the shirt you wanted and that. Yeah.
I got silver ones.
You know what else I want now? I was looking on there. The Frankenstein stool.
Oh, yeah.
That looks badass.
That sounds gross. It sounds abnormal.
From that, but I'm not gonna.
Sounds abnormal.
Hey,
John.
I might be one of the first cats to get those clasps.
Yeah.
I want some of those.
I'll be ordering.
Remember you guys in the display case? Those things were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
I'll
really
be getting
cool.
about 8 sets of those right away.
John, were you the one sending me the picture of the 45? The I'll wait 45? Very cool, man.
What's on the back of that? Drop Dead Legs?
Girl Gone Bad.
Girl Gone Bad. Drop Dead Legs on the back of Panama single, I think.
Depends. Is that the right word?
Depends how old you are.
It depends on the pressing, because there was the U.S. singles, and then there was like UK, like 12-inch singles that had like a bunch of songs on them.
Right.
You guys remember those?
Well, I remember, I got Jump before the record came out on a 45.
Cool.
So I heard House of Pain. That was the only other song I heard before the record came out, like a month before the record came out. So it's just all
Johnny,
you heard.
Oh, that's cool.
That
That's
new
cool.
guitar shop, I guess, that you had. They sell vinyl and
Up the creek. Yes.
what do you say? I missed that. What do you say?
He's just answering for him.
He's answering. Yeah. It's called Up the Creek. It's a record shop. They've got some Nash guitars in there. Really, really nice custom guitars that are like, $2,000 a piece kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a cool shop. Huh?
Were they relic or were they like actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Relic. Cool shop. Very cool. And those guys, they're excited to I just happened to discover them the other day. They've been there for like a year. I just noticed a sign, went up there and told them what I did, told them about this. And they're like, yeah, let's do something.
Awesome.
We have a nice room back here that we've been wanting to do some podcasts, I'm like, hey, I can set up back there and do this from there, and we can talk to you guys. And yeah, very cool. And they have live shows there, bands play there. It's a really cool place. I'm glad I'm glad I saw them. Somebody sent me David, what was your name? We read your name earlier. Schare. Here's some of his guitars. He's got a Kramer. He's got a trying to read. It's like 3:30 in the morning where Jay is. Hey Johnny, it's David again with 3 of my other guitars. Of course, my 5150 Kramer, my Holy Grail copy Kramer, and the Bones guitar that I hand carved. Oh, you made that?
What?
You made that and put LED lights in the eyes.
Oh, I gotta see this.
I gotta see that one.
Look at this. Okay, this is David.
All right, nobody say anything right now. So Johnny, so so it stays on him.
Here's
this.
Here's guitars that he did. Right here. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Get in there.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's cool to hear George Lynch talk about that guitar. He said that this guy just put all those extra pieces of wood on.
Just piled a bunch of wood.
A strap body.
Wood.
And built that thing from nothing.
Johnny, who sent that? Who did those guitars?
It was David. How do you say his name? Schare.
So he's carving his own guitar, and I'm afraid to paint my own guitar. That's the difference.
He wrote in earlier. I think on the previous video.
Wow.
I think. I can't think. I've barely said anything, and I can't even talk. Yeah, vintage sounds. Nash guitars are cool. Very cool. Yeah. So are we good? We can say goodbye for half an hour, but I think I think it's getting late.
Yeah, somebody wants me to Vintage Sounds wants me to play something, but I'm a few rums in and my fingers don't work when I drink, so Steve will play us out.
Steve will play out. Here's a new song from Sting, and he's going to play us out. What does that mean?
Play us
what
out?
does that mean, play us out?
I mean, I can play a slow motion version of Mean Street, I tune it right.
I was going to say that's Steve's version of every sleep you take.
Yeah.
Remember all those sleeps that you were taking for that guitar?
Oh yeah. 7 months.
Every death you fake.
Yeah.
And have you guys done that?
No.
There you go.
I can't even think after that. Something like that.
Yeah. All right.
Rum Street. Yeah, Rum Street.
Steve, is that through your mini EL34?
Right here, buddy.
Boom, called it.
Hold on a second. Do you have both of your mini 5150 amps there?
Yeah, but I need another plug-in because it takes a 9-volt plug-in.
You can unplug it and plug. I want to hear a comparison.
The difference.
Yeah. Do they sound different or do they sound the same?
I was trying to get them in a chain so you get both at once. So that's what I got to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
get them unchained.
Yeah, right.
Get another one and let's go wet, dry, wet, wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be cool. I'm curious as to the difference. What's the difference between the two?
If we had Nesdal on right now,
There's the ivory one.
So you've obviously listened to both of them, right? Which one do you think sounds better?
Yeah.
I'll have to answer that next time. I haven't done a comparison at all. I like the black with the gold better, so that's what's sitting here.
I smell a Saturday show.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
It's Saturday right now.
It is Saturday. Saturday.
My nose doesn't lie.
Yeah, and Jay Hannon should be having a package delivered probably Monday. Yep.
Oh man, and I'm gonna have to wait till Tuesday to open it. Are you effing kidding me?
There might be a Monday show.
Like I said earlier, it might be possible to do a Monday, because I don't have to be where I have to be until like 7 o'clock, my time. So
we did a Sunday one last week when you got the box.
I was about to say, who's talking? I didn't recognize Johnny's voice.
Who's this guy, Johnny?
I don't know. All right. You guys are good.
We're good.
Always good.
All right. Steve. Well,
Yeah.
it's Steve's show. Steve, great. Thanks for having all of us on here.
Yeah. Thanks. Who's furthest away? We're looking at Jay Hannon, South Carolina, Little River. Thanks for being here, buddy. I'm glad I got to have a.
Farthest away?
I think you are. Yes. The rest of us are here on the west.
Oh, that's right.
Well, most of us.
Yeah. And Michael Smith.
Michael's
He's
Mountain.
we're talking Colorado, right?
Yep, a mountain.
That's right.
Yeah. And we've got from Santa Monica, the Caleb Rappaporter in the house. Can't wait till he gets his neck on there and strings that up. It looks awesome already. Yeah. And Johnny Beane, Santa Cruz, California. Thanks for having us. Thanks for bringing us on at the end of the early show. That was awesome. And great times. Everybody out there, give us a thumbs up. Click the bell. Check out johnnybeane.com. Check out Caleb's channel. Caleb, give us the plug.
Guitar Leads with Caleb Rappaport. Boom.
There you go.
Subscribe.
Yeah, you can check out my channel, Steve Andersen. Original songs that I throw up there about 3 minutes long, and some covers, and adding more all the time. Michael, do you have a website you want to plug or anything? YouTube channel?
I have nothing.
Okay.
I think
Show
I have
me the way to go
my
home.
followers on YouTube. And I don't even know why the hell they follow me, but whatever.
It's all right. All good. So everybody, thanks for being here. We'll see you next Friday for 50 Fun 50 Friday. Will be the first Friday of April, and be careful on April Fools. If someone taps you on the chest, don't look down because they're going to slap you in the upside the nose. So be careful. Yeah.
And happy Easter, everybody.
And don't fall for all the on April Fools when you see a Van Halen post. Don't pay
Exactly.
attention to it. Don't pay attention.
Later, guys.
You all just make noise on the way out.
All right, Johnny. End this.
Steve, tell me when, man.
That's it, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. Adios. Have a good week.